What's poppin', fam? What is poppin'? Ooh, oh boy. All right, I got to make sure my audio's right, y'all, before I even start. I don't know if I'm talking to an empty room tonight, but it's okay. I'm good with that. I don't even care if I get viewers tonight, to be real with you. This story has me vexed, annoyed, irritated. Y'all are going to leave tonight thinking I'm a victim blamer. I'm all right with that too. If you're here though, let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I just need a yes, a one, a something. You gotta let me know that you can hear me for me to continue, because I really need to know that I'm being heard. Let me see. Or let me check on my phone. Oh, good. All right, y'all can hear me. Let me turn off my music and then I'm gonna get started. Y'all, tonight, my lord. Soon as I heard this story, bro. All right, let me go ahead and just get into what this video is going to be about. So tonight I'm talking about poor people making bad decisions. And if you find yourself offended, if you find yourself wanting to cuss me out, it's literally because you're one of the people that I'm talking about. And we are going to cover the story about the 4 people that were abducted in Mexico. And I'm going to talk about why I think that happened. And yes, it is credit related. And if you're annoyed by that, you need to click off right now, because I'm literally going to be breaking down why poor people make such shitty decisions, and it's going to end up getting most of you unalived. Okay. I'm going to try to watch my language tonight, but I'm peeved. Okay. So we are coming off of the heels of the live stream that Miss Shaeed did over at Black Women Making Money yesterday. And it was a edge puller, yanker, whatever. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and ride her coattails on this right now, because Black women, you need to do better. And that's what this live stream is about. So we are going to be talking about this cautionary tale of these 4 people that were abducted down in Mexico. And y'all forgive me, I have a hard time saying where these people were at. Matamoros, I believe is what it was called, which who the hell goes there? But again, it's because I'm a Californian, not a Texan. So I understand this is why I don't even know where the hell this place is. But we're going to talk about why this is a cautionary tale about how the lack of resources, not just on an individual level, but on a group level, is literally going to get you 86th in this game. Okay. So I'm hoping before I end tonight, if I can keep my mind about me, that you will walk away with this being able to look at this a little bit differently and more objectively. Okay. I'm going to try to play some video for you and we're going to see where this goes. Now I have an outline. That's why I keep looking down, because I'm annoyed. So anyway, I want you to think about how easily this senseless tragedy could have been avoided. And I want to encourage you, after I go through the specifics of this story, I want you to look at your own life and I want you to see where you have similarities to this girl and the people that she was with. Okay. Because we all can find some of ourselves in this story. So where do we begin? All right. So 4 people, right, from South Carolina drove supposedly down to Mexico last week or 2 weeks ago because one of them needed to get surgery. Now it was 4 men and 1 woman. So I'm going to let you guys guess who you think was about to get the cosmetic surgery. Okay. Now 4 people drove from my side of the country. I'm in Virginia, for those of you that don't know, but they basically did a caravan all the way down to Texas, crossed or got a hotel in Brownsville, Texas, and then crossed into the border. And shortly thereafter were gunned down and then kidnapped. Okay. It's all on camera. They have the footage. I don't know if I'm going to share it. I might try to, but I'm not really sure if I can because of copyright and all that stuff. But needless to say, 2 people have now been found dead. One of them is now injured, and the girl is actually alive as well. So 2 dead, 2 alive. Okay. Now, I have a issue with this story because we essentially now have 2 more Black men that are dead due to senseless violence. And we also have a sister who put her life in danger for a procedure. And I'm going to go ahead and guess that it was probably lipo. It was probably a BBL. It was probably a breast augmentation. It was something foolish. And I know this. And I'm going to just first of all say my condolences to the families that lost these 2 Black men. But I need you to see how deep this really goes and how much our vanity as Black people in general is going to literally lead to our early grave. Okay. That's what this story is about. So share this. Let somebody know they need to come in. If you have something to say, I will probably share the link so you guys can come in. You can challenge me. You can agree. I don't care what you do. Just don't get on here showing private parts, okay? But I think I'll put the link in there. But anyway, the reason I'm covering this story is because this is literally not just a case of violence across the border and having no situational awareness as Americans, but it's also just about a lack of financial literacy and how we really don't have anybody out here supporting us. And if you don't have anybody out here supporting you that is smart enough to tell you not to go get cosmetic procedures overseas or even across the border, if you don't have that, you are out here alone. So you need a channel like mine. That's where we first need to start out. Now, the other thing here is that I know for a fact that this is closely related to financial literacy because she went across the border, or it could have been one of the men that needed the procedure. But the reason that they went across the border was because they don't have enough money to afford this procedure in the United States. So I need somebody in the chat. Let me know. Do we think that they went over there because the healthcare is better in Mexico, or do we think that they did it because they were broke? I really want to know. Okay, so I'm more mad at the situation that they were in, not necessarily the people. So if I come across like I'm badgering the victims, that's not what I'm doing. I'm upset because we are literally so behind in this country that it is now costing us our life. And we're literally putting BBLs, breast augmentations, nose jobs, hell, eyelashes. We're putting all of that in front of getting a financial class, in front of taking a course, in front of, dare I say, getting certified. We're doing all of this, right? Because vanity is number one in this community, which is literally, to me, proof that we got issues, baby. We got issues. And yes, it's a Black thing. All right, I'm going to say it. Now, what I wanted to do was show you guys a video about this story. And if you're here, I need you to let me know if you can actually hear the story, the video, because I can't really, it's not going to make sense if you can't hear it. So I'm going to play the video that kind of goes into the story, and then let me know if you guys have even heard about this. So let me add it, and then I'm going to go ahead and play it, and let me know if you can hear it.
Border city of Matamoros, which is about 12 minutes from Brownsville, Texas. The group crossed the border in a minivan and then got caught in a shootout. Janet Shamlian reports from Houston. But first, a warning. Some of the images here are graphic.
John, good evening. Tonight, there is word that those missing Americans may have been targeted by mistake. The FBI is now involved in the search. And a note of caution here. The images are graphic.
This is the moment 4 Americans were kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico, just across the border from Brownsville, Texas. They were traveling in this white minivan with North Carolina plates when they came under fire. The video appears to show a woman forced into the back of a pickup truck by men with guns, then 2 others who appear hurt, loaded next to her. The Mexican president says the 4 were going to buy medicine, less expensive in Mexico, as hundreds of thousands of Americans do each year, and that they could have been mistakenly targeted. The White House today saying it's closely following the situation.
These sorts of attacks are unacceptable. Our thoughts are with the families of these individuals, and we stand ready to provide all appropriate consular assistance.
Matamoros is under a level 4 do not travel advisory per the U.S. State Department, the same threat level issued for Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan. The city of roughly 500,000 people has been home to warring factions of the Gulf drug cartel for decades. The crimes are often unreported, journalists fearing for their safety. Mario Sainz is a community leader.
We hear about the cartels, we hear about the shootings, but when it involves kidnapping or it involves Americans, it sends a very strong message to our community here in Brownsville and all along the border.
U.S. officials are not identifying the Americans, citing privacy concerns.
All right, so that was the first little bit that I wanted to show you guys. And the interesting thing that I found in that video was that nobody over there came to their aid. Nobody got out of the cars. Nobody did anything. So what this lets me know right off the bat is that, number one, poor people have very poor situational awareness. Number two, these South Carolinians don't know Mexicans. I know that. And I know that because I know Mexicans. Now, my issue here is that not only did this girl go over there to do this, but the fact that they went over there, not really knowing how things work in Mexico. Now, I read a couple of articles about how you even travel when you go to Mexico, especially in this part of their country. I don't care how close it is to Brownsville. I just want you guys to know, I don't care how close it is to America. You have to understand, when you cross over into somebody's country, you are basically playing the rules of their game. Okay. Now they took a chance and they played a stupid game and they won a stupid prize. That's the first thing that I want to make very clear here. Again, nobody got out to help them. That's number one. Number two, shots rang out and these people yanked them out of the car. They are literally saying in the news that this cartel mistook them for Haitian drug traffickers. The reason I don't believe that, well, I can believe it, but the only reason that I kind of don't is because they saw that there were North Carolina plates. If there were drug cartel people or Haitian drug runners, they would already know the number one rule when you go into Mexico, which most of the citizens of that country know. You switch your plates as soon as you get there. So they already knew, in my mind, that they didn't target the right people. Okay. I have a feeling they just did this. It could have been racially motivated. I don't know. Okay. That's the first thing. Now, the second part that I wanted to share with you guys is a video that was posted, because there is a trend that goes on. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I have never gone to Mexico for medical reasons. And I'm going to go ahead and share my story once this video plays. But here is what is going on. And this is how I know that these people were not fully educated on how you conduct yourself across the border. So I want you guys to listen to this video and then I'm really going to dive in. Okay. Again, let me know if you can hear
places, but I wondered about how frequently it happens in this area, in this town. Is this an area that's known for plastic surgery procedures, or was this like a sort of an odd thing?
No, I mean, you're in a part here in Matamoros is a town of more than 500,000 people, and there are doctors there. On the other side, you have the border towns you have Brownsville, you have McAllen here. That's a big city where they can go to. Look, there's a lot of people, and I'll be honest, I grew up in San Antonio. We would go to Laredo, cross over into Nuevo Laredo, and you could go to a drugstore over there. You could get simple, amoxicillin. All my tias, all my grandmas wanted the retinol to put on their face. They wanted the cheaper medical stuff that they could get without a prescription. Nothing nefarious, but you could get it cheaper, and it was readily available over there. It's not uncommon for people here on the Brownsville side to say, like, well, I need to go to the drugstore. Instead of going to CVS, they cross over and they go and buy a few things over there much cheaper and bring it back over here. The same thing with medical procedures, especially cosmetic. Brazilian butt lifts, there can be augmentations, tummy tucks, but even dental work. There are dentists who, come to school here in the U.S. and then go back to Mexico and practice there. And a lot of people do go over there. It's cheaper. And if they don't have insurance here in the U.S., they go over into Mexico. The same way you hear people in Florida go to Colombia for various procedures as well. It's just a quick plane trip, a little bit of recovery, and come over. A lot of times they'll start here in Brownsville, cross over into Matamoros.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop sharing just for a second, just because I don't know how copyright works here, but I guess that was fair use, whatever. I wanted you to listen to some key points that he said there. He literally said it's cheaper and it's for people that don't have insurance. Okay, so this is the point I'm trying to make. We are putting our vanity and beauty and health in front of financial literacy. Let me go ahead and continue.
Get whatever elective or cosmetic surgeries they may want done, and then come back here on the American side and recover.
Omar, so how is I guess this is going to be sort of an interesting question, but how is the governor getting this information if we are to believe that these kidnappings and ultimately this killing was carried out by a cartel? So how would the governor and the attorney general be privy to this information? What are I'm guessing they probably know some things that they haven't shared with the media yet, but I'm trying to understand how the flow of information works in Mexico.
Look, the same way that our American government is finding out information on what they were doing down there. Every government has sources, with a white hat and a black hat. So they may be trying to work those channels as well. We're trying to find out how they were found and if they were found.
I hope you're listening to this, because are you noticing that they don't have no details? This is right across the border, you guys. They have no details. How? So I have some theories on this, because I'm not too sure that this girl just went for surgery. I have a feeling there could be some other things involved because this part of Mexico is also known for fentanyl. There's no reason to drive all the way from South Carolina. I said drive. She didn't fly. That also lets me know something. They drove. That's a long ass drive. I'm going to break down the numbers in a minute. Back to the story.
Did they show up at a hospital? Were they dumped at a hospital? Were they presented somewhere and left there? I mean, there has been cases where cartel members grab somebody and then leave them to be found. Whether dead or alive is another thing. But in this case, we're trying to find out if there was a hospital in Matamoros that they showed up at or they were taken to and left there. And currently, who has them in custody? If they're with Mexican officials, then that would be a good thing, because then at that point now we can figure out, okay, who's getting medical treatment, and it would be easier to transport them back here to the American side and back to their families.
What's the alternative? If they're not with Mexico.
Well, if the cartel still has them, then the cartel will give them back whenever the cartel wants to give them back in whatever way they feel they want to give them.
Boom. All right, so I'm going to finish his sentence. He basically said that the cartel would give them back in whatever form they wanted to give them back. Do you think the American embassy or whoever doesn't know that? I know that, and I don't even live in Mexico. Now, I have a very close tie, not to a cartel, but definitely to a down home, deep in the mountains Mexican. And I can tell you 100% that this was not just about cosmetic surgery. You're going to refer back to what I said about the fentanyl thing, and we're going to see. Diamond Dave makes a beautiful point here, and this is what I'm getting at. Once they started talking, they already knew that they were not Haitians. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Because this is the point that I'm trying to make here. I know that there's more to this story than what the news is telling us, and I know it wasn't just about plastic surgery. I refuse to believe that this girl was that silly. But at the same time, I have to remain objective and not be so emotional about it. I'm just upset that it's one of us. I'm being real with you. Because at the end of the day, you guys don't, okay, let me be real. You all have no situational awareness and no cultural respect when you go to other places. A lot of you guys are going across the border to Mexico and you think that it's cute to go set up shop over there when you really don't know the culture. Number one, you don't know how they feel about Black people. Number two, if you're going over there for surgery, you do not know what happens when you are under anesthesia. You do not know what it takes for them to be board certified there. You don't know. Okay, you have no clue what happens when you're asleep. Do you know how organ harvesting happens? I'm really talking at y'all tonight because I really think that you guys don't understand how serious this is. And I know y'all dropping off because you're probably the BBL girls. I understand. It's okay. But here's my thing. Dave brings up an amazing point here. Why would you go into Mexico knowing you don't speak Spanish? Why would you do that? I'm an Angelino, which means I'm from Los Angeles. I knew every single time that I went to Mexico, I needed to take a Mexican with me. I would never take 3 of my other Black friends with me to Mexico and think I'm going to be safe. I just wouldn't do it. So again, I'm not victim blaming, but I'm just saying when you go abroad to a non-English speaking place and you're signing documents that are probably in Spanish, you're going to get what you get. Okay. Once you cross the border, you're in their territory. A lot of you get this misconception that because I'm 5 miles from the American border, I'm safe. No, you're not. Okay. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories. Well, I'll tell you one story anyway. In Mexico, well, in TJ anyway, I used to live in where did I live? Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I live, but I lived Southern California, pretty close to Mexico. Okay. Honestly, going to Mexico is nothing for us. It's like nothing. It got a little more difficult once they started requiring passports. Okay. But my mom and grandma used to bring us over across the border to TJ all the time. Okay. This is a thing. 80s babies in California know what I'm talking about. We did this all the time. Just go shop, get toys, paper flowers. We used to do all that stuff, right? We don't live in that society anymore. Okay. I knew that back when I was 18, 20 years ago. Do the math, okay? I don't care if you figure out how old I am. I knew on my 18th birthday going into Mexico with my best friend and my mom on the train, the minute I crossed that border, I felt like I was unsafe. And we did it in the middle of the day. And my boyfriend, who was Mexican, was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's cool. You sure you want to do that? Okay, I went, okay? Now I will tell you exactly what they do to young girls that cross the border into TJ. You want to know? They pump us full of alcohol. That's what they do. as soon as we go because they know what we're there for. They know the drinking age is 18. They take advantage of it. Okay. Now, you would be remiss to think that the cartels are not in on that. You think that they don't know those bar owners? You think that they don't know these people? Right? I've even gone to Mexico to get cheaper medicine. But you know why I did it? I did it because I had, what did I do at that time? I just started a new job. That's what happened. I moved to San Diego. The San Diego area had just started a new job, and they weren't going to give me health insurance until, and I'm sorry, y'all, I'm kind of babbling all over the place because I'm pointing out how ridiculous this story is. Okay. And maybe I know what I know because I lived so close to Mexico, because South Carolina is nowhere near Mexico. So I'm just going to give them that. But at the same time, this woman, this was not her first trip to Mexico to get surgery. That's the part that they're not really talking about a lot. This was her second or third time. So she already knew what was up. And that's why I'm telling y'all, I don't know if this was just about surgery. I think that this could have been because of easy access to pharmaceuticals. Anyway, back to my story. They were giving me 90 days to get my insurance actually initiated. So what did I have to do? I'm an asthmatic. I need asthma medication. Okay. So if you ever want to know how to take me out, take my inhalers. Okay. And I'm done. All right. That is a fact. So I could not go 90 days without my inhalers. But you know what I did? I took my boyfriend at the time who was from Mexico. And I'm not talking about one of those Mexicans that doesn't know Spanish. No, this was one that got smuggled across the border by his mother. That's the kind of Mexican you take with you. Okay? Okay? You don't take 3 of your closest Black friends. I'm sorry. I know I said that already, but that's the point. So crossed over into the border and he's like, hey, when we get over there, don't say anything. Just let me talk. Let me talk, give me the money, and we'll get this done. And you know what happened? We took our happy asses down to Revolution Boulevard, got us some tacos and some drinks, and went to the pharmacy and took our asses right back across the border. That's what we did. He knew we did not need to spend the night there. He knew we did not need to be setting up shop or nothing. He knew it. He was like, let's go home. All right, we got it. Let's go. So what I'm trying to say here is that there is literally, again, a lack of situational awareness. Now, you cannot couple being situationally unaware with a need to travel or with a need to go to another country to get your ass liposuctioned. That's a deadly combination. I know what I'm talking about, okay? I know what it's like, okay? Because when I was 18, when we went to the bathroom at that club where they were shoving drinks down our mouth, yeah. Oh, that bathroom. Yeah, that's a place where they kidnap people. 100%. 100%. I only needed a taste of that once as an adult to know never to take my ass back to Mexico. What was this girl's problem? That's my question. And number 2, my next question, Damn and Dave, this is more for you because you're a Black man. You're the only one that I know that's in the chat right now. Who is a Buccaneer. All right. Now tell me, would a Buccaneer go over to Mexico, not knowing the language, in a van with North Carolina plates? Would you do that? Would you? Right? You know, this is not, let me take him off the screen. I'm sorry, y'all. But these are not moves that are done by people that are financially savvy, financially literate. This is not a move by somebody that is protected. And this cartel probably knew that. Okay? They knew that. You think when you go into another place, they don't know you are a stranger. They know you don't fit in. I'm from LA and I can't even walk in certain parts of downtown LA. If I go to Skid Row, they know I'm not from there. And I'm going to get my teeth kicked in and they're going to take my wallet because I'm not one of them. Okay? This is the point that I'm trying to make tonight. So even Mexicans in Maramotos, I don't know if I'm saying it right, y'all. I'm going to kill this. I'm so sorry. I would say this so wrong. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my act together. I feel like I'm talking in circles and I apologize, you guys, because I'm feeling very passionate about this story because I'm like, how do I know all of this? But these people felt so comfortable going over there. She was going to get put under anesthesia or something. And even if she didn't get put under anesthesia, she was going to be in somebody's medical office. And here is what kind of trips me out about this story too. Let me see if I could share the article with you guys, because this is where I'm seeing some holes in this story. And y'all, I already shared the link. So if you want to, you don't have to cam up, but you can come on and talk to me if you think where I'm going with this is wrong, or you think that I am being too hard on this person, these people. Because my next question is, why did these 3 men not step up and tell her, hey, you should probably fly in, number 1. Number 2, hey, sis, we love you. Because in these articles, they say they're lifelong friends. So she was protected, y'all. She was protected. However, my friends would not let me go overseas or cross the border to get surgery. The only place they would let me go is probably Canada. That's it. They wouldn't be letting me go to Mexico. They would look at me screw-faced. And that's the ones that are even from Mexico. You guys don't have enough friends that are in different areas, in different nationalities. You don't have enough people around you from different groups. Because if this woman knew some Mexicans, and if these 2 dudes knew some Mexicans, they would know, don't go. Do you know the area that they drove through? Hold on, y'all. Whew, Lord. I knew I was going to be hot coming on here. And y'all know what I took before I got on here? I took some L-theanine. My supplement people probably know what's up with that. This helps you with stress and anxiety. It ain't helping tonight. All right, let me show you some parts of this story that bother me. There are some parts of this story that bother me, and I'm really about to come for y'all. So, okay. Whew. Lord, I should have studied these notes before I got on here. All right, so look, these are the people. So rest in peace, every single one of them. Shaeed Woodard, we're here in the first paragraph, y'all. Shaeed Woodard, Zindell Brown, those were the 2 that were found dead. So that's the 2 Black guys, right? And the bodies will be examined by the Mexican authorities. So we can't even look at their bodies. These are American citizens. Their American, government cannot even get their bodies. We can't even get them to find out what really happened. That's a problem. Latavia Washington McGee. This is the one woman. She's the one that's in the picture that I showed you guys on my thumbnail. A mother of 6. I paused on purpose because you need to let that sink in. A mother of 6. I want to cuss so bad right now. A mother of 6, and Eric Williams survived the ordeal. Thank God she survived, by the way, because she is a mother. They were taken to a Texas hospital for treatment and observation, and the Mexican government official said Washington McGee was found uninjured. Interesting that the woman was uninjured. I have some suspicions about why that happened, but women are worth more alive than dead for multiple reasons. I'm pretty sure some of you in the chat are smart enough to understand what I'm getting at. But you Black guys, I'm sorry, you're not valuable across the border. I hate to say it. Sorry, not sorry. Stay your asses at home. That's what I'm getting at also. A Mexican government official said Washington McGee was found uninjured and Williams suffered a bullet wound to the leg. One person has been detained. One person in this massive ass shootout. They detained one person. I saw at least 3 or 4 people in that cartel get out of those vehicles. How did they only get one person? That's the fall guy. Anyway, officials cannot confirm whether the person is related to a criminal organization. Are you serious? They don't even know if the person that they caught is even in the cartel. The victims were found in a wooden house. Well, okay, that's not weird. Okay, if you know anything about Mexico, the deep woods of Mexico, that's not weird. Okay, half of the people that you know that are fighting for citizenship right now grew up in a wooden house. So I'm not even gonna continue with that. In Matamoros, and had been transferred to various places over the days in order to create confusion and avoid rescue efforts. So I'm going to continue with that story, but this is a problem. A mother of 6. How are we the most educated in this country, Black women? How do we have these wonderful jobs? We're lawyers, we're HR professionals, we're doctors, we're dentists, we're CEOs. But this mother of 6 thought it was a good idea to leave her babies at home, hop in a car with 3 other dudes, and drive 2,500 miles from South Carolina to get butt injections. I don't know if that's really what happened, so allegedly. Mother of 6. I'm tired of y'all acting like we're the smartest beings on this planet and like everybody's second guessing us and shortchanging us, because they're not. When you look at the details of stories like this, how dare you even tell people that we're the most educated? How dare you? Stories like this totally 86 what you just said. It eliminated everything. Everything. Where's the child's father? I noticed in all of these stories, nobody ever mentions her husband is grieving. You think she had a husband? Do you? And I'm looking at the chat, y'all. Otherwise, I'd be staring in the camera, burning through your soul. Do you think this woman had a husband? Probably not. Most women that get surgery don't. Right? So this is a problem. Like I said, this is an unprotected woman. She went down there with 3 men, not realizing that she should have just went by her damn self. She should have just went by her damn self, because having them didn't do nothing. Taking a Black man across the border to Mexico, I'm sorry, you're more likely to get hurt. Some of y'all don't know how Mexicans feel about Black people. Some of you don't know that. And it's because you're not exposed to them. Diamond Dave did a live a while ago where he talked about, even though there's dangerous ass cartels in Mexico, the one thing a Mexican will not do when they come over here, and this is nothing against Mexicans. I actually love Mexicans. I really do. Because once you get in with them, you good. That's the one thing about them. But these ones across the border, different story. Okay. But Diamond Dave did a story where he talked about, no matter how bad the cartels are, Mexicans will still hang out with them when they get to America. They will still say, even though the cartels chase me out of my country, I'm still going to deal with them when I get to America, because I know that there's safety there. So how dumb do we look going over there in droves? That's not our motherland. I don't know nobody in Mexico like that. The Mexican that I know, he's here. Okay? And that's the only person I would actually go to Mexico with, to be quite honest. I hope his wife ain't watching this. But listen, that's the only person. Because he could code switch. Americanized like hell, but illegal as they come. Okay? Illegal as they come. Them the kind you need to be with. So this is a story also about, I want to make it a cautionary tale to let you guys know, you need to also expand your social groups. Because if this girl, and I will give her this, on this side of the country, I have not seen a person from Mexico in over a year. So I could understand how maybe she didn't know or didn't understand how dangerous this was, but I'm also not buying that. You know why? I'm going to share it with you, but let me finish this article and then I'm going to share with you why I don't believe that she didn't know she was in harm's way. So it says that the group, it's a tight-knit group of friends, whatever. Okay, cool. The group crossed into Matamoros in the state of Tamaulipas. I hope we don't have any Mexicans in the chat. I'm so sorry, y'all. Tamaulipas. There we go. My inner Mexican just came out. At about 9:18 a.m. Friday. But they got lost while trying to locate the medical clinic. But wait, this was not her first time there to get surgery. How did she get lost? How did that happen? Oh, because they don't know the language. There you go. Obviously, they also had issues with their cell phone service, clearly. Okay. So McGee's close friend, who did not want to be identified, there was basically somebody that was back in Texas that was making calls back and forth to try to find out where they went. Now, why did she leave a person back in Texas? I can tell you why, because she knew she was going to be in danger. She knew there was a chance. That's why she brought somebody to actually stay in the hotel back in Brownsville. So y'all got to learn to put 2 and 2 together when you read these stories. What I like about it, though, is that they haven't really brought race into it, which I appreciate that. But at the same time, you got to understand your color is really not a positive thing when you cross certain borders. But anyway, I digress. They reached out to the doctor's office for directions on Friday, but were struggling to communicate with the office because they had a poor cell phone signal. That is not why they had a hard time communicating. Part of that was because they didn't know the damn language. Investigators believe the Americans were targeted by a Mexican cartel. We talked about that mistook them for Haitian smugglers. They said an innocent Mexican bystander was also killed in the encounter, and the woman was hit by a stray bullet. as many bullets as actually flew. If you watch that video, a ton of bullets flew. It was like they had machine guns or something, and only one person got hit. And I guess whoever was in the car with the girl got hit too. But y'all, only one Mexican got shot in that whole ordeal. Y'all, this was a hit. This was a hit. But I don't think they thought these were Haitians. I think that they knew exactly who these people were. All right. So U.S. law enforcement was also not on the ground in the search. That's a problem because they literally just they just started looking for us. So that's a problem too. And I think that's about all that I want to talk about on that part. But here is what I want you guys to clue in on before I get into that. If I were to go into Mexico, the first thing that I would know, you don't even have to really be from California to notice, or from Texas, any bordering state. You don't have to be a genius to know about a Mexican cartel, right? I remember the first time that I learned about Mexican cartels was with my ex. We were walking through a carniceria out in LA. And, I said to him, I heard this song, because, they always had those songs with all that heavy bass and stuff and the cellos and all that. And Mexicans love accordions. And I said, hey, tell me, what are they actually singing about? We're just, we're getting vegetables, doing whatever we do at the grocery store. And he goes, oh man, he's like, these songs are crazy. They talk about being in the cartel. They talk about being drug dealers. They talk about how they're going to steal your money, kill your mom. They talk about all kind of stuff in these songs. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, when we get home, you got to tell me what these songs are saying, because bro, I cannot believe this music is really out here. And he's like, this really happens out there. He said, that's why. So y'all, is that deep in Mexico where they make songs about this? There's a genre of music, and I don't know the name of it right off the top of my head, but I'm sure some of y'all have heard of it. But it's literally they're like banditos and stuff. So I know this. But I only know this because my boyfriend was Mexican and because I had a general concern about it, because I knew there was something to this. But if that doesn't speak to you about what their culture is like, you're an idiot. And I said it, you're an idiot. Because if they make songs about killing people's mothers and smuggling drugs, come on. Is it really worth it to go get some lipo? Is it really worth it? So like I said, the South Carolina thing, I get it, because these people on this side of the country, I'm sorry, y'all, they don't really know. They have no, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? They have no concept of that part of South America. They really don't. And they don't know how dangerous they are. I think over here, all we have is Venezuelans, Costa Ricans. What else do we have over here? Guatemalans, but when I look at them, I can tell they're not Mexican. But sorry, y'all, I'm kind of mixing up everything here because of my history. I know that this was such a stupid idea for this girl to do this. Okay. I know this. Let me get into some of these comments and then I'm going to kind of go back into the story. Sorry, you guys. I know I'm all over the place, but it's just because this annoys me. It annoys me. I'm annoyed because I know this was because this girl was broke and the dudes that were with her were broke too. And couldn't even protect her, which is sad. It's maddening. It makes me sad. It's everything. However, I know better. Oh, of course you do. Dave, I know you know better. You tell enough stories about your experience just being, I don't want to say in the streets like that, because I'll let you obviously say that if that's the case. But from the stories you tell, I know for a fact that you have seen some things. And honestly, I've seen some things too. Just because I don't get on here and I don't have that persona doesn't mean I haven't seen things. I literally just told you I spent half of my adult life with somebody that got smuggled across the border. I've seen shit, people. I just happen to be a well-rounded credit lady now. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm just so done with people thinking that they know. You probably watched a couple of YouTube videos, or you have a friend that got her lips injected in Tijuana and you think you know everything about a country. Or you think going with some friends is going to protect you. There are men here that will watch you get kicked in the teeth. They'll watch you get kicked in the teeth. Do you know that? And they won't protect you. What the hell do you think they're going to do across the border? Nothing. So again, I know it sounds like I'm victim blaming, but whatever. Karma for the street vendor. Wait, what? Are you talking about the Mexico thing, the Tijuana? You talking good. I'm speaking well. Okay, keep acting like you guys don't attack Mexicans in the state. Who'll be attacking Mexicans? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you mean physically, Asian Paladin? Do you mean physically? Because that's just par for the course. If you grow up in certain parts of LA, Mexicans and blacks hate each other. I went to a high school, and my older brother went to a high school where they had planned race riots every single year. Every year. Do you know who was not involved? White people. It was blacks against Mexicans. I remember being in class and that happening. And I've already told you guys, I went to a school of choice that had college courses. I was not a dummy. And they were even doing this. So this is a cultural thing, I guess, that bleeds through everywhere. It's pervasive. It's cancer. Okay? So I get what you're saying, but Mexicans are just as treacherous as anybody else. Okay? Like MS-13 is everywhere. That's how I know. I know which of you people are from California or LA or have seen some stuff and which of you haven't. I know. You're probably, I'm not going to assume. Let me be quiet. Or my people, the Asians. Okay, listen, Asians for the most part mind their business, but what about the rooftop Koreans? Don't go there. Don't you dare go there. And I hope it doesn't sound like I'm totally coming for you, but I kind of am. People get attacked. People attack people. And that's because people are gonna people. Just like Mexicans are gonna Mexican and cartels are gonna cartel. And there's still going to be some goofy girl that's going to get in a caravan and go over there to get her butt sucked up. She's going to do that. Yes. This story and me doing this is sad that there's only 18 of you on here. Because I know for a fact, half of y'all don't care. Half of y'all don't care. Right? You don't. and that's okay. That's okay. But I'm telling you for a fact, I would never cross the border with 5 of my male friends. I would never do it. Because I know they're not going to protect me. You in somebody else's backyard now. What you going to do? What you going to do? You ain't got no firearm. You don't got nothing. All you got is your Dukes. They got machine guns. They got the police in their back pocket. And for all we know, let me really be real about this. For all we know, that doctor's office might have had something to do with this. Because I find it mighty strange that they're not saying very much about this office. If you know anything about the cartels and how it works over there, everybody's in their back pocket. Literally, the only people for the most part that are sort of safe in Mexico are the people that are in the backwoods, the people that are in the mountains, the ones that you will never see. You'll never meet those people unless you know somebody that will take you back to that part of Mexico. And the only reason they do that is because they know somebody there. But again, that's another story, and you're not ready for that because you think looking at a video tells you everything you need to know, but you don't. And I can tell by the way some of y'all are talking, and by the way a lot of people talk. I'm not just saying you guys or anybody in particular, but I can tell by the way a lot of people talk, they've never been around somebody that is literally from whatever country they are claiming. I know it. You're talking to 2nd and 3rd generation people, and I can tell it shows. Okay, it shows. She didn't know enough about Mexico to be going over there. And if she did, it's because she was involved in something beyond this plastic surgery. Because you know what else you get when you get surgery, y'all? You get painkillers. And the fact that she lived in another country, the fact that she lived all the way in South Carolina, they also said that there were some prescriptions and they found some receipts in that van. So y'all gonna really sit up here and tell me that you really think this was just about surgery? Okay. Okay. Now I know who I'm playing with. Now I know. Now I know the mental capacity of the people that I'm dealing with here. Okay. You get painkillers after surgery. Do you know about the opioid crisis here in the United States? Do you know that we could make some money if we go get some pills across the border? I know I'm talking to somebody. So that's why I said this story goes deeper than y'all think. Because how is she crossing into Mexico, but there was already receipts in the car? This story is not making sense. Okay? But the main problem and why the credit lady is bringing this up is because she was only there, if we're going by the surface story that we're getting, she was only there to get surgery, which means she's poor, which means she has terrible credit and could not afford a care credit card. It means that her family could not pitch in and make her an authorized user and get her credit game up. Tell me I'm lying. This wasn't no middle or upper class person that went across the border. I'm sorry. It just wasn't. I said what I said. All right. And no, Asian Palladium, we're not attacking Asians, okay? We love you guys. As a matter of fact, South Korea is the number one place to get plastic surgery procedures, as a matter of fact. I also used to manage a property in Koreatown when I was in my early 20s, and they were the best residents I ever had. Old ladies, the omas, yeah. Okay. So no, I have a love for them, to be quite honest with you, because they looked out for me. So you would be living in mud huts if it wasn't for white people. Oh Lord, y'all, I must not have a what you call it in here tonight. What do we call him, y'all? I think he's gone now. I think I blocked him. Okay. Y'all need to be coming after somebody like that. See, I told y'all, and this is the thing. People will come around, and pretend to be your ally. And damn, I wish I didn't delete him, because I want y'all to pay attention to that. Do you see how quick he was to switch up and say that we would be living in mud huts if it wasn't for white people? So y'all be really thinking that you have a lot of allies out here because they get out there and they march with you. But I'm sorry, they're not your allies unless you literally break bread with them or you sleep with them or something. You got to see how quickly he switched up or she switched up or whoever that was. That's a rooftop Korean right there. They will shoot your ass. I'm probably about to take this down. I know they're not going to let me keep this monetized. As soon as you cross over, they already, exactly. Thank you, Dave. And even when you go to other English speaking countries, they know you're not from there. And I had that experience. For those of you that don't know, like I was contemplating moving to Australia years ago. And I knew for a fact that being over there was not, it was the closest thing to America that I could find that was the furthest away from home as well. And yes, being an American did help. Being a Black American did help because they corrected me every time I said I was Black, because they consider Aboriginals Black. We're American. We're not considered Black over there. But you wouldn't know that because you probably don't travel. So that's the whole point. And I could tell this girl has probably been nowhere but to Mexico, maybe to the Bahamas, maybe something like that. But that's not really traveling. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not. You need to go somewhere where you can really see how far your American passport can get you. But they do know. So I was going to say in Australia, they totally know. As soon as I started talking, they were like, oh my God, where are you from? California. Oh, I bet you're from LA. How'd you guess? Treatment was completely different, but you don't get that same treatment when you go to Mexico. When if you go beyond TJ into certain parts, the fact that you're American, they're not looking at you to get like money. They're not thinking, oh, we're going to make a lot of money off this tourist. Now they're thinking, oh, we could probably sell this food to the cartel. That's what they're actually thinking. But again, you don't know that because you don't go anywhere. So what a waste of life. I don't know if you're talking about the people, but I don't think they're a waste of life. I just think that this girl didn't have enough people, like good people around her to back her up at all. Because how am I in a car with 4 or 3 other men, 3 grown men that are supposedly my lifelong friends, according to the article? I get in the car with 3 men, but 2 of them end up getting killed and then 1 gets shot in the leg. How am I the only one that left this whole thing unscathed? Y'all not paying attention. Y'all not paying attention. It's more to this. There's something that we're not being told about this story. Also, I am of the belief that she took men with her, possibly. This is all alleged, guys. I forgot to say that and keep saying it. This is all alleged. But if I'm going to get my butt done or something, I'm not bringing 3 men with me. If I'm going to do something a little off color after my little surgery, then I might need some muscle behind me. Am I preaching to the choir here? Are y'all not following? Y'all are very quiet in the chat tonight. And I see it's 20 of y'all watching. Y'all are very quiet. You're very quiet, but I know what I'm talking about here. I know it. Like I said, all you got to do is get you a friend that's really from Mexico. Get one from Guatemala. I don't care where. You just need somebody that's had feet in the ground, like on the ground of a foreign country. Your whole perspective will change. Yeah. And I could imagine what kind they were, because Chicago is very far from Mexico. So I'm sure they had a story, you know, and my ex absolutely had a story. Okay. One that I'm sure he's still battling today. Right. Because they're different, you guys. You be, oh man, you know, a lot of you guys even know the kind of I keep saying Mexican. And it's so funny because people, when you say Mexican, they try to put everybody into one category, but I'm really talking about Mexicans from Mexico who are American, by the way. They're just South Americans or whatever. So they're still Americans. They're just not United States Americans. But it's like when you talk to them and you really see what their life is like, stuff that they've been through that, like, you would think, I don't know, like you compared to what some people go through here, it's nothing. And to see that these people are still kicking and they act like they just mesh themselves into society, you would be so shocked at some of the shit that they go through. And we're talking about under 40 years old. Okay? Because the day he told me his mom smuggled him over here, I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Seriously? And he's like, yeah. I remember being in the water. I remember being with her and being scared. I remember. 2 years old, coming over here. Okay? Can you imagine? That man probably has some demons that I probably still don't know about. Okay? So we're going to take a 2,500-mile drive to go into a country that people are risking their lives traversing on foot in sandals to get out of. Make it make sense. Also, yes, this is what I wanted to show you guys, because y'all acting like this girl was brilliant. No. Up in Detroit, we got Mexican. I ain't never heard nothing called Mexican town. We know what type of, yes, I'm telling you. And they got connections. Well, they are. That's the whole point. That's the point here. This was the Gulf Coast cartel. They're notorious. And supposedly right now they don't have a distinguished leader, which I doubt. But they do say that this cartel specifically doesn't have a leader. So that's why they're kind of running amok in Mexico right now. So that's another thing. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share Dave's comment, and then I'm going to get back on the articles because I want you guys to really see this. My travel international, people clocked me by my thank you. It floors me, Diamond Dave, that when you talk to an American, like, we get on each other for our vernacular so much, it's so retarded. Because I could tell if you're from the Midwest, you know, because even black, white, no matter what, you have a person has a, I forget what you call it. Patois is not the right word, but it's like you have an accent, right? And no matter what, I could tell where you're from. Like, I say some things where I catch myself and I sound like I'm from the Midwest. I recognize it's because my mother is from Michigan. My mother still has that, and she hasn't been there since she was 10 years old. But she has it. So I catch myself sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, I sound like I'm from the Midwest. How the hell did that happen? And it's like, oh snap, that's how. When I got back from Australia, it took me a minute to like kind of adjust the dial. That's why I always wonder about people that come over here and still keep their accent. I'm like, no, you're trying to keep that accent, because if you go to another place, you pick up the vernacular so quick, you sound like one of them when you go back home. But when you first get there, of course, you do sound American. So you're right, Dave. And you know, like you people from Maryland, and yes, I mean you people, you guys say do, you don't say do, you say do, whatever that is, you know? It's like, yeah, I know when you're from Maryland. Right? Come on. Where do you think the term Valley Girl came from? I've been told I talk like a Valley Girl so much because I'm from California. That's a Californian thing. That's not a white girl thing. That's because of that region of California. That's how they talk. Up north, you say hella. I have to stop myself every time I say hella because I know I sound like I'm from up north. But somebody from New York is like, what the hell is she even talking about? Right? And I'm sure when I go to Texas, y'all sound funny down there too. So imagine that, you know, thinking that you can blend in when you go to another country. Please. They clocked you so quick. Your hair, your face, your clothing, hell, even down to your cologne. They know. They know. Okay? Like every country I've ever been to, they knew I was not from there. And don't get me started if I go to damn Africa or that's a continent, y'all. I'm sorry. But if I went to Nigeria, they'd be like, who the hell is this? Who the hell? Whatever they say. I don't know what they say, but they would know I'm not from there. I remember going to Jamaica once. Actually, I went a couple times. And when I was in Jamaica, this is how stupid I was. And I'm going to say stupid. This is how, oh, you know what? I didn't even read the rest of your comment. Yeah. So I was so dumb. I thought, oh, if I put my hair in twists and I go over there, you know, I'm dark skinned, I'm kind of thick, you know, I was a lot smaller back then, but I was like, yeah, I'm kind of thick. They gonna think them. Soon as I touched down, this man walked up to me on the beach. He was like, ooh, I bet you're from America. You look rich. You're rich. Sir, get the hell away from me. Okay. But they clock you as soon as you get off. So for these people to get in this van and think that, oh, we're just going to go get this surgery and everything's fine. No. And again, I'm going to say it till the cows come home. There was something more to this than just, oh, I'm going to go get surgery, because the way they're leaking this story out, it's too like, oh, it was surgery. They're not saying what it was. But there's a friend that's reporting to the news and saying she doesn't want to tell, you know, she doesn't want to reveal her identity. It's because she already effing knows. This is not just about surgery. The names of the 4 victims are out there, but that's just a formality, right? It was going to happen. But why is this friend not wanting to be named? Why? It's just surgery. What's the big deal? What's the big deal, friend? Why can't you say anything? We already know the other 4 people that were there. Why can't you say who you are? Again, it's about more than effing liposuction. I'm telling, it's got to be, well, okay, I don't know. I'm going to just be quiet because I don't know. Hecka, yes, Hecka is one, yes. Hella, Hecka. They say something else too. I forgot, but yeah, I can always tell when I'm talking to somebody from up north. Back east, kinda. I couldn't really place Texas because to me, I'm like ignorant. All Southern people sound the same, except when you get into certain parts of Louisiana, then it's like, excuse me, what? They sound like they're speaking a whole nother language down there. That's that like Bayou stuff. I'm lost. Okay. I'm like in another country down there. And New England, they speak kind of weird in New England too. Anyway, why didn't they fly? Exactly. I'm going to break it all down. Like I said, I got off on a tangent like I always do, but I got some tabs pulled up. I'm going to share some information with you guys. Because again, if I'm going to a country knowing I'm going to be, even if it's local anesthesia and you're not putting me to sleep, I want to know, I'm checking the travel advisory for your country. I'm checking to see if there's any well-known gangs that run in your area. I'm checking to see like, you know, what is the best entry point to your country. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Call me ignorant, call me partial to California. I would never enter Mexico from Texas. It's way too vast. There's too many points where some craziness could happen. Texas is massive, and that border is massive. There's too much potential for you to get lost, for you to be unaccounted for you to be swiped up. Too much. I would never catch an Uber down there. I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. And that's just me being a Californian. Call it what you want. But to me, there's a lot more protection and a lot more accountability at the California-Mexico border. Main reason because San Diego is one of the highest grossing income areas in California. So they're not really going to let too much craziness happen at that border. Now, Brownsville, I'm sorry. This is the first time I've ever heard of Brownsville, Texas. Sorry. Sorry, Texans. We don't know. We don't know. But it's set up a lot different with the California-Texas border. So I'd rather go through that one if I had to go. And I'd be flying Aeromexico. I wouldn't be driving a beater van from North Carolina. Did you guys see that van? Come on. I was by myself when I drove cross country to Virginia from California to live here. I drove an SUV. I could have got a beater van, sure. But I got an SUV. Because I wasn't up to no good. I was literally just moving across the country. This to me reeks of shadiness. I'm sorry. So anyway, had to have been something else. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, TW. Something else was going on here. And I could just tell by the news coverage, they're trying to skate over something. They're trying to make this a healthcare story. They're trying to make it medical procedures need to be less in the states and we need to have more affordable healthcare. Well, guess what, guys? Plastic surgery is elective, which means you don't have to get it. So no, you pay what you pay. The price is the price. And you pay a premium here also because you have recourse if something happens to you. Let's say she went overseas, right? Or wherever she was going to, got this surgery procedure, whatever the hell it was. Because honestly, guys, you can get Botox and your face could be paralyzed. So I'm not saying that it was something major she went to go do because she was going to obviously have to drive back, right? Or she was going to, she was going to have to stay in the hotel or something. So that's what I'm saying. There's just not enough information being said here. So I know that this is some bullshit. I know it's bullshit. Okay. So when you get a procedure, there is recovery, right? Healthcare really only comes in as far as your insurance if you have complications. I've never had a procedure, but I know this, right? Many of you don't know that. It's like, yes, the money that you pay for the surgery is out of your pocket. However, the complications can be paid for by your federal government. Becomes a medical expense, okay? So, yeah, you be knowing, and I bet you say do. I bet you say you and do. See how I have to struggle to say that? But I always know I'm like, damn, Maryland. But I didn't know that until I moved to this part of Virginia because we're so close to DC. I didn't know that until I actually came to this side and I'm like, oh, snap, but that's how distant we are and like how out of touch we are with each other from state to state, right? Because they're doing stuff in North Carolina that is not being done here in Virginia. I know that, culturally speaking, there's things that they probably get down with that we don't get down with here. And hell, Virginia is like a whole nother atmosphere. Like I feel like I drove through a wormhole from here to California. It's a wormhole. I don't know what dimension I'm in because Virginia is something else. There's nothing going on here. So I'm wondering why the hell everybody's here. But at the same time, I get it because 90% of the country is just like this. California is actually the weird place. I finally have come to that conclusion. We are strange. Californians are weird. But we also know not to go to freaking Brownsville and go to whatever, Mexico to get procedures. Take your ass to Beverly Hills. If you can't afford it, then you need to not get the procedure. And if you can't afford it, get a care credit card. Right? So this was a person that was not financially literate. So again, you might think I'm victim blaming. That's okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. Again, rest in peace. But I find it very strange that the only person that really survived was that woman. untouched, unscathed. Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't think it helped that they were driving in Mexico. Hello. That's literally what I said a few minutes ago. Because in one of the articles that I read, it literally said that people that travel back and forth between the countries, between, the Mexico border and the Texas border, they know that to not be seen or to be kind of incognito, you need to switch your plates as soon as you get there. But think about this. You got to be connected to actually have the plates to switch. Right? So again, back to my point, the people that can go over there and know this game are people that are connected. We are not connected. So that was kind of what Shaeed over at Black Women Making Money was talking about. And that's the point I want to drive home here as well. I am what you would call an unintentional divester. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose a lot of you with that. And that's okay. It took me to actually sit down and go through my entire life of dating to realize I don't really date Black guys. It's not intentional. It's not intentional. That's just how it worked out in my life. Because see, I'm not a serial dater. I'm not. If I date you, that's it. So it kind of just happened that way. All right. I didn't intentionally do it. But because of that, and because of the friends that I have developed, the friendships I've developed over the last few years, when I decided to branch out and expand my mind, I started to see how other races actually see Black people. And I talked to my friends objectively. And the guys that would date Black girls, because there's something up with those guys too. I'm not going to act like they're normal all the way through. That's not the case. But what I'm saying is that it would behoove every single one of you on this chat right now, if you're Black, American Black, I'm not talking about Nigerians, I'm not talking about Jamaicans, I'm talking about Black people born in America. It would behoove you to connect and align yourself with some people from different groups. Main reason being, you get an inside track on how they feel about other groups of people. Also, they have access to things that you don't have access to. I don't make the rules. This is just how it is. The sooner we can get the emotion out of that part, the better off we'll be. Okay. Nobody said that you had to, you don't have to marry them. You don't have to lay with them. You don't have to do all that. But you do need to align. Form some business relationships with these people. Stop turning your nose up at your coworkers. Stop it. Talk to the person that's doing janitorial, because I guarantee you that person, if you had told them you were going to go and do this surgery thing, they would have said, whoa, mija. Whoa, mija. No. No, mija. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go to Beverly Hills, mija. They would have told you that. But because we think we know everything, and because some big booty Betty was online and said she went and got something done in the DR, you think it's safe. That's the problem. We don't have any connections. I know that this is part of the problem. Y'all gonna be mad, but I don't care. You need to branch out. This is how I know some of this stuff. And like I said, I don't come on here all the time, talking about, the people I've dated and stuff, because it's not your business. It's not your business. I also, like I said, I don't talk about my political affiliations either, but you can ascertain that I didn't vote for the man that's in there right now. Do with that what you will, right? Do with it what you will. Okay. I prefer to think of myself as more of an independent thinker than anything, but that's just me. And an independent thinker knows you need to research the place you're going to. So let's talk about this real quick. This is the Mexico Travel Advisory. So the place that this lady went to is a level 4. So if you're looking at this part of the screen right here, oh, I'm sorry, guys, that didn't help. But to the right part of the screen right here where my cursor's moving, can you guess, anybody in the chat, can you guess what level the place that she went to is on. Can you guess? Out of 1 through 4, 1 being the best to just exercise caution. Number 4 level is do not travel completely. Don't go there. We don't even let American workers go there. Stay away. Red blaring lights. Do you know, just anybody, if you could guess, from a 1 to 4, what level do you think that place was? I already know we got one person up in here. We be knowing you be sitting in the front of the class. We already know. I knew you was gonna get it right. But listen. Exactly. So let's talk about it. Now, the way that I found this is at travel.state.gov. So if you are ever going to travel anywhere, just know you are supposed to go to this website and look wherever you're going to go. Okay. I don't care if the passport bros are telling you to do this. Passport bros are out there getting stranded right now. Okay. Don't y'all start doing your own research. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at the state. So she was in Tamaulipas and they're saying do not travel to. So that's a level 4. Okay. Do not travel to Tamaulipas state due to crime and kidnapping. So I'm going to click on it and it takes us down here where it says organized crime activity, including gun battles, murder, armed robbery, carjacking, kidnapping, forced disappearances, extortion, and sexual assault. And this is in Ciudad Victoria. Lord have mercy. No relation, okay? But criminal groups target public and private passenger buses, as well as private automobiles traveling through Tamaulipas, often taking passengers and demanding ransom payments. I'm going to keep reading this because you guys need to get this beat into your head. Heavily armed members of criminal groups often patrol areas of the state. The cartel is patrolling. They're looking for you to slip up. Oh my God. They operate with impunity, particularly along the border region of Reynosa and Nuevo Laredo. So, of course, Nuevo Laredo sounds like it would be near Laredo, Texas, I'm assuming. And you'll remember the newscaster was actually saying something about Laredo, and crossing over into the border to get medications and things. So it says law enforcement has limited capacity to respond to incidents of crime. Once again, why would I go somewhere where it literally says the cartel is out there, they're 100% patrolling, and the law enforcement has limited capacity to respond to incidents of crime? This woman, I believe, knew exactly what she was getting into. Okay? And it did not have to do with surgery. I'm sorry. I know I'm being redundant, but I need y'all to pay attention. So Matamoros that's actually the state, I believe. That's the state. And then Tamaulipas is the city, I think. Anyway, U.S. government employees may not travel between cities in Tamaulipas using... Tamaulipas is the actual state. So Matamoros, I think, is the city. Using interior Mexican highways. Travel between Nuevo Laredo and Monterrey is limited to Federal Highway 85D during daylight hours prior authorization. So again, 4, I don't want to call them country bumpkins, but they kind of are. 4 country bumpkins from South Carolina going into a level 4 dangerous zone that is manned by the Gulf Cartel, who is one of the strongest cartels in Mexico. And y'all are surprised that this happened. And maybe you're not surprised. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing about this. Nick, you grad? No, level 4, but I'm sure you know that already. Level 4. So come on, women. Let's not be dumb here. Let's be honest with each other. Level with me, because I know that there's a couple of sisters in the chat that probably don't want to say nothing. Now I got to bust out my peppermint oil because y'all, I'm annoyed. Bro, I be having to do stuff to keep a calm head. I promise. So what's the story, Morning Glory? Tell me. Is getting your tits done this important to go into a level 4? It's bad enough that a lot of us live in the hood, and I'm not gonna say us. I don't live in nobody's hood, but I'm sorry. I know Davin Dave hates the hood. I don't live in a poverty-stricken district of my city. I don't live there, and I would never. I would do whatever it took to not live in those places. But we literally, a lot of people live in war zones. So I'm not surprised that this person went over into a war zone to do something like this. This girl was not as cookie cutter and clean cut. And I also know that because she had them little double piercings in her nose. I be seeing y'all sisters with that. Y'all something else. 2 piercings in your nose. Okay. Okay. Mother of 6. Also pay attention to that. Mother of 6. Mother of 6. No husband to be found. All right. I think they were stupid enough to think. She thought that. She was dumb enough to think that, because that's why she went with 3 dudes. Now, for all we know, too, the guys could have been wannabe passport bros, and that could have been why they were there. Or they could have just been there to want to experience something. But here's another thing, guys. They weren't that dumb, because to cross into Mexico, you have to have a passport now. So they weren't dumb. These were people that weren't that dumb. And that's why I'm telling y'all, there's more to this story. Because there's people that's been in the States their entire life and they don't have a passport. I was just talking to a lady in the post office yesterday. Because let me share this with you guys, just so you guys can kind of understand how I know for a fact that there's more to this story. So I know Erica talks about this a lot, but I want to show you guys. Let me see. Are they going to show it? Give me a second, guys. The point here is that, oh, here it is. Okay, this is what I want to show you guys. And let me know where you guys are watching from. Are you guys country bumpkins? Are you susceptible to this idiocy? You know, are you dumb like this? Sorry, y'all. I know I'm talking harsh. Let me sniff my peppermint. Okay. So the typical American lives only 18 miles from mom. So they were basically from this region over here, the salmon colored on this side. This is where I live. And then this is where they lived, like in South Carolina. So the average person, and just so for context here, they came from here and traveled all the way like down here somewhere. Okay. Now, Diamond Dave, if you're still here, I wanted to kind of bring this to light for everybody. The most popular states to get plastic surgery are actually, let me see if I can show y'all, because I want to really just kind of show you why I believe that this was deeper than y'all are going to be told by the media. So plastic surgery, that's the whole reason that she was going over there. So here are the number of plastic surgeons in the U.S. as of February 24th, 2023. 12,112 plastic surgeon businesses in the U.S. as of right now. The industry is steadily growing. And since 2018, it's grown by 2% every year. So I'm still trying to figure out what was the point of going to another country, because she literally bypassed 12,112. That's about, I think, 242. I think I did the math. Let me make sure this is the math that I was doing. Yep, she passed 242 per state. 242 plastic surgeons per state is about what that breaks down to. Now, we know most of them are probably in Florida, New York, California, Texas, whatever. But she passed by this many surgeons to drive 2,500 miles to go down there. 2,500, guys. What's the point? I need somebody in this chat to make it make sense for me, because it's not making sense. And does anybody have any input on this? Because you guys need to come in and say something, because really, I know some of y'all feel the same way that I do. There's the link right there if you want to come up. I don't know how I would find out if you want to. I guess your picture will pop up or something. If you want to talk about this, because I'm not going to be on here too much longer, because I'm already over an hour and YouTube has been hating on me lately. But I see what they want me to do. Clearly, they want me to get on the microphone. That's the only way that that my channel is going to get views. All right, I understand. I understand the assignment now. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to share with that part. So let me get off of that. But since, you know, the typical American doesn't travel more than 18 miles away from home, where was her mother in all of this? Because her mother did pipe up and say something. Oh, my boy. All right, hold on. Let me do this, and then I'm gonna bring you on. My Lord. Okay. So where is her mom in all of this? Right? Where is her mom? What it do? Let me see. Are you here?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, you know what? I think I might have to switch my audio. Can y'all hear Dave okay? I need somebody to indicate you can hear Dave.
Because I can hear you.
All right. Because I got you. I can hear you, but you're on my laptop and not in my ear. So I think I need to switch my stuff. So hold on. Let me see if I could do that real quick. You know, I'm not technologically inclined for the most part. All right, let's see. If I switch it, guys, let me know if you lose Dave as far as the audio goes. Speaker. It's probably not going to let me do it. All right, 1 second, Dave.
Okay. Anthony says he can hear both of y'all. He says he can hear both of us. I'm sorry.
Oh, they can. Okay, cool. So what I'll do, let me just turn my volume up because I'm going to need to hear you. Damn, it says I'm at 100%. Ain't that something? It's going to be a struggle. All right, Dave, go ahead. What say you about this entire situation? I literally got pages here that I could keep going, but go ahead. I'm going to give you the floor so you could let these folks know what you think about this.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I like how you did the show. I like how you put the information together. So I want to congratulate you on just your how you put your information. It's really congruent and it really flows really well. And it's a lot of information to put together. So I want to really congratulate you on that. I'm gonna hit you with something. If you get a chance, put your Cash App up. Because you know YouTube take a lot. Yeah, you know YouTube take a lot of the money when we donate.
They sure do. And I'm over here talking about this girl being unfinancially savvy.
Yeah, I feel you. So put it up so I can shoot you something for the time you put in. I just think it's really unfortunate. So let's say hypothetically, let's say she did go for the surgery and you showed on the map. That's really far to travel. I think the cost of you traveling may have offset the savings that you may have thought you were going to get once you got to Mexico. And I still don't understand why she traveled with the 3 other guys for whatever reason. And I know that wasn't her first time going down there. But one thing that we do know is she doesn't have a criminal record. So we're not able to attach that to the situation, saying that she has priors.
No way. I didn't even see that part.
Yeah, so I saw that it doesn't appear at this moment that I think anybody in that car that we know of had a criminal record. So we're not seeing any prior behavior. But one thing about her having 6 children, to me, may be a characteristic of somebody that's maybe not that responsible. So then it just plays out throughout the rest of your life. So then I think this scenario, for whatever reason she went, it may have made sense. And a lot of times we know that a lot of people that try to do these type of things, they normally get the least amount of benefit, and often a lot of times are like the most vulnerable. So I just think it's very unfortunate because you talked about, I don't think the average American understands how bad Mexico really is. So they don't understand like the way it's kind of set up and how cartels really do control these areas, and they really do have a monopoly on violence. So even if let's say me and you go down to Mexico together, it doesn't matter what I do, because if the cartel's short with 6 guys with guns and I'm 1 guy with a gun, it doesn't matter anymore. So we can die right there in the middle of the street, but that's pretty much all we're going to be able to do. So you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what people have to really realize, is that the way in which they're kind of moving down there, unless you really are really connected, like for real, there's really nothing you're going to be able to do if it goes bad.
Right.
Because of the way in which they operate and the way in which they run their operation. So I just think it's just very unfortunate that those guys lost their life. We really don't know what happened, and it may never come out.
Right.
But there was nothing there. Once that thing went left, there's nothing that, to me, you can do unless they have people that they think you can get to. But if they know we can just knock you off and that's going to be the end of the story, and we move on to the next situation. I mean, we could have shot out in the middle of the street, but there's nothing we could have done at that moment except die in the middle of the street. Because even if you get rid of those people, you still got to get out of Mexico.
100%. And like I said, Dave, the thing that throws me off about this, where I know it's more to this story, is that 1, they had receipts in the car already. Yes, so ma'am. She was on her way to something, but something already went down anyway. But the second thing is that, like you said, they obviously how do I say this without sounding like an asshole? They basically overestimated their power versus what Mexico is really working with. Because if we read the travel advisory, Dave, it literally said the cops ain't going to come help you. The cartel is actually running this area. Beware. This is your fault, basically. So do you think that this person and this group of people had enough information before going into this situation? Because they said that they were literally just across the border and then the shootout just happened.
No, I think they had no information, but we know that most people don't read. And like I said, is that if I'm dealing with someone, like I said before, and I put on YouTube, protection starts with being obedient to information. So I can't protect you if I tell you don't go here, you go there anyway. So the United States government is trying to protect you by telling you what the deal is in Mexico.
Yes.
If you're not submissive to the information that they're giving you and being obedient to the information and the instructions, then you can't be protected.
Right.
So then once you get down there and it goes south, they can't do anything for you. They're telling you that before it happens.
Yes.
So that's what I try to get. So once you get into the spirit of, I just do what I want to do all the time because that's what I want to do, it eventually leads to these scenarios. Because even if you're running with an organization, you still got to listen to somebody.
There you go.
But if I'm just a renegade, I just do what I want to do all the time because that's what I want to do. It's me, and that's okay when this is the type of things that happen to you.
Right. And I feel like they thought they had some structure because it was 3 dudes and 1 woman. But like I said, they were going into territory where, according to the news, this is one of the oldest cartels in Mexico, number one. And if it's called the Gulf Cartel, well, they run a very massive area of Mexico.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, the fact that they don't have a distinguished leader, or so they say, they don't have one. There's a bunch of different factions that are doing whatever the hell they want to do. They don't have nobody to answer to, supposedly. But I also doubt that, because this one person that's now going down for this, that they caught, they literally said in the article that this person probably has nothing to do with the crime ring as it were. So is this just a random ass person? And if it is, to me, that's even more proof that the cartel has power, because they literally just put an innocent person up there like, hey, that's the one that did it.
Yeah, definitely. But so she may have thought, and I don't know what those guys role in it, but the like I said, is that an environment that you're going into, the cartel has a monopoly on violence.
They have the monopoly on everything.
Yeah, exactly. So once you understand that, it doesn't matter. You could have went down there with 50 people. If they can put 300 people on the street and all you got, it doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? So only thing that could have saved you is the United States military. Well, they're not coming for you. So then you just out of gas. So unlike, let's say we were to go to Canada or we were to go to the UK, we understand that the government has a grasp on things. Down there, the cartel is the government, and it's going to go however they want to go. And we know that they rule with a lot of violence, overt violence. That's just how they rule. It's also a spiritual aspect too that I don't want to get into, but they rule with a lot of overt violence. So it's just, it didn't matter who she went down there with, without her, and you talked about it before, really understanding what was going on and who the players are, and then knowing the risk she was taking. It didn't matter. And we talked about before is that you can't be protected if you are not submissive to instructions. When the United States tells you, this happens in Florida, they will tell you hurricane's coming, you need to evacuate. If you don't evacuate and something happens, we're not coming to save you. So if you decide to stay there, then you just got to deal with it. So if you don't have the financial wherewithal to evacuate, then you just have to try to, make it through the hurricane. But you've been given instructions to evacuate. So the same thing, if they give you instructions, don't go into this area because it's not safe and you choose to do it anyway, you just got to take what comes with that.
Yeah. Same thing used to happen in California all the time, because you know how we have brush fires and stuff like that. And these people live in these multi-million-dollar homes and they know what's up. And then, next thing you see on the news, oh, they told us to evacuate, but we just stayed and put water on the roof and now we don't have a home.
Yeah.
Dave, would it be wrong to assume, because I'm all about trying to connect dots that people don't think of, would it be safe to assume that because she is a mother of 6 and she made such an interesting decision, I'm gonna just say interesting, to do this, to go over, to Mexico and blah, 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 She left 6 kids at home. Would it be safe to say that she might have a defiant streak in her?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell she has 6 children with no husband.
There you go. Because I found it so strange. The only 2 relatives that came up, I think, are like a mom and some other relative. I put them in the thumbnail.
But I mean, but that's the world we live in now. So we see that being rebellious to any level of structure, it leads you down a road. Now, it may not lead you down the same road as this woman.
Right.
She's lucky she's alive. Right? Because they didn't spare her because she was a woman. They just decided not to kill her. These people kill anybody.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? So she's lucky she's alive. But one thing I had to learn in life is that if you on a certain path, unless you stop and turn your life around, you're just gonna keep going further down that path, and there's no telling when you're gonna hit that wall. So she's lucky she escaped this. The other 2 guys didn't. But if she don't change her life, nothing is going to change, because what we see is that the attitude of, I just do what I want to do because that's what I want to do. Because my question is, the length of time it took you to get from where you're at to Mexico, why would you want to spend that much time away from your children?
Right. And again, y'all, okay, the only reason I'm harping on this, she drove 2,500 miles, is because I did it myself. And I know you have to have a certain degree of mental fortitude to even do it. I did it by myself, y'all. Okay. I stopped in every city every night. I had to literally ascertain in my head, okay, is it safe to stop now, or should I wait? Should I stop here? What route should I take? Should I go here versus there? Because as I'm driving, Dave, I'm seeing human trafficking signs everywhere, all through Arizona, all through New Mexico, all through Oklahoma. I am a woman traveling alone, right? So I knew how much danger I was in by doing that. And I would probably do it again. Let me stop. So I have a defiant streak in me about things too. And I do agree that there's a spiritual aspect to it, which of course we can't get into, but I believe you with that. Spirit kind of is pervasive in a lot of things that we do and don't do, and how these organizations run. But again, because I want to just drive this point home to everybody. It's like, there is a spirit of defiance running through this woman, but she is not the only person that's like this. There are we can all look at our own life right now and pick something like that. And you're so right when you say you have to look at your life and decide to turn a table, right? Because as a mother of 6, I still can't wrap my mind around, why do I need a cosmetic procedure? And I already don't have enough money to do it here in the States. Why does it make sense for me to hop in this car and do this? Because again, that is not a fun drive. And it can't be, I love men. I'm sorry, Dave, but I don't want to be in no car with no 3 funky men.
I feel you. Yeah, that is a long drive, and it's a multi-day drive. But like I said, I don't understand as a mother why that procedure would be so important. She would leave her children. So
and they're not saying what it was. It's like, what the hell was it?
So that's what I'm trying to say, is that procedure was so important. She would leave 6 kids to have the procedure. We don't know the ages of them, but she would leave her 6 children wherever she's at to have the procedure. But like I said, is that if you live in an irresponsible lifestyle, that doesn't change until you decide to do so. So everything about your life is irresponsible. So the 6 kids is a symptom of irresponsibility. I jump in the car, drive cross country to go to Mexico to get a procedure that I really can't afford to pay for. So that's what I'm saying, is that everything about people's life is a reflection of how they're living. So they do everything the same way. And so fortunately for her, she lived through this, because like I said, these people could have killed her like they killed everybody else. They kill men, women, children. They don't care who they kill.
No.
So it's just very fortunate that she lived through it, because she has 6 children, that she was able to live through this and come home to her kids, and hopefully she get her act together, because there's no guarantee that she gonna make it through the next situation.
And I'm going to be real with you, Dave. I am of the belief that she's going to try this again. I hate to say it. Whatever procedure she was about to do, Dave, I think she's going to schedule it and probably go to Costa Rica or the DR.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Am I being judgmental?
No, you're not being judgmental. And I hopefully she doesn't do it, because hopefully what happened down there, because we saw it on videotape, scared her enough to where she realized, I need to change my life.
Yeah.
Because she's seen that these are some people that's just really not going to play with you. So hopefully being faced with that, she realized, like, okay, this is going to get me to realize, like, I need to change my life. But some people, like I said, their rebellious streak or their defiant streak is so strong in them, they'll change for a little bit, then they'll go right back to their old behavior because they haven't made a decision that this isn't working for me. So one of the things that we've done in this country is we've allowed people to believe that I can just do whatever I want to do and it works for them. But it works until it don't work.
And I believe it works because there's always somebody with you that will co-sign your foolishness.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because the doctor's office is going to take your money because, okay, we know what the exchange rate is between $1 and a peso. I'm going to take your money. Okay. That's number one. Number two is when you really look at this, like I said, she was an unprotected woman. And we know this already because the 6 kids with nobody making any of these men accountable. We know that already. Now, to me, also, that's a symptom of somebody that is financially illiterate because there are so many other things that this woman could have been doing instead of getting in a car and driving to Mexico. So I started thinking to myself, I didn't know she had a record. So thank you for bringing that up. But it's like she's literally already in this spiral, in this lifestyle. And I don't know if there is hope for her because when these things happen, sometimes they tend to not necessarily excite you, but they can numb you.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that. And I agree with you there. But I'm going to always have hope that the person changes their life. Maybe it took this traumatic of an incident because we don't know what happened to her once the people took her. Right? That all got to come out. So she may have been lucky just to get out of there with just her life. We don't know what else happened in the meanwhile. I just think it's very unfortunate that, like you said, when her mother and I think maybe her sister interviewed and talked about it. And this is something I say, if they would have told her don't go, well, she would have listened to them. Because we know that, especially now, you know, a lot of people build their life around people that's going to tell them what they want to hear.
Yes.
They don't want to take counsel or they don't want to have a structure that don't let them do whatever they want to do. So if somebody would have said, hey, I don't think that's a good idea for you to go down there, well, she would have listened to them and been like, because we said the U.S. government's already telling you not to go down there. But let's say somebody in her personal life say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea for you to do that. Because what she wanted to do was so great, she will say, well, I'm not going to listen to counsel. I'm going to just do what I want to do. And a lot of people's attitude is that if you don't let me do that, then you holding me back from me living my best life. So then you can't surround yourself with people that can give you good counsel because you only surround yourself with people that tell you what you want to hear. So she found 3 dudes and say, I would have told her, no, we're not going to Mexico because I'm not going down there for them people to kill me.
That's the point I'm trying to make here.
Yeah. So then I wouldn't have been in the car with her, but then I also wouldn't have been in her circle because I don't really hang out with women that got 6 kids and no husband. So that's not my circle. So then I'm not going to be able to, let's drive all the way across the country to go to Mexico so the cartel can kill us. So we get jammed up. I don't care if I got a gun on me. I can't fight them. It's too many of them. They'll kill us right in the middle of the street. So I would never go. So then I won't be in that circle of people that are doing that. I'll be like, yo, I'm going to sit back where I'm at. And when y'all get it, y'all just come bring it to me. I'm chilling.
Right.
Y'all can take all the risk. I'm not going to do that because I'm not a mule. And really what they was doing was low-key mule behavior. But that's the poorest people get put on those kind of jobs. But really what
now, can you expound on that, Dave?
No, a mule is a person that you send to go pick up stuff and they take all the risk and get the least amount of payment. So like I'm from Florida. Dominican mules come over with cocaine in their vagina. And they take the plane, come into Florida. They sit down. Somebody takes the cocaine out of their vagina or they swallow it and then they get sent back. When they're taking all the risks, they take the least amount of money. If the cocaine ruptures inside their body, they get poisoned. But there's nothing else going on in the DR, so they got to do what they got to do to make money. So they're really moving like a mule, right? So I just think it's unfortunate if they was involved in that. But yeah, there's no way in the world you're going to tell me we going from North Carolina to Mexico to do anything. And I'm going to be like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm like, no, that sounds like a terrible idea.
And that was the point too, because I'm like, Mexico, South Carolina has nothing. These 2 places are not connected in any way by on the surface. And that's why I said, I feel, and I allegedly, y'all, that there is something more. Because like I said, when I started seeing like, oh, of course we can get medication down there. But see, I only know that because of my exposure, Dave. Like I didn't read that on the internet. I know people go to Mexico to get medicine. The newscaster said it. They go for insulin depression. They go for Retin-A, which is still vanity. I went there for Retin-A when I was in my early 20s. I went there for my asthma medication. Like, we just do this. It's, to me, like I said, I know that there was another layer to this, and I understand the mule behavior that you're talking about. Because without saying too much, when you know people that have done things like that, it's like, oh, okay. And that's why I'm trying to say to the people, it's like, you got to get out of your comfort zone and start to mingle with other people, because you will start to see how these other groups move. Now, they're not going to show you everything, but they will show you enough, you know? So what do you think about that, though? Should people be expanding their horizons? And, you know, should we only be hanging out with people that look like us, or should we make a concerted effort to learn about these other groups?
Yeah, I think you should expand, you know, your horizons and who you deal with. But I also think you should expand the people who you deal with that also look like you. Like, so those people, we got the same color skin, but I would never do that type of stuff. But like I said,
you wouldn't run in the same circles.
Yeah, we don't run in the same circle. Like I said, I don't hang around women that have 6 children and no husband. Like, that's not my social circle. I don't hang around people that have so little to do that they say, let's go from North Carolina to Mexico. Like,
in a car, not on a flight.
Yeah, exactly. I'm too busy. So I don't, that's not my circle. No disrespect to them. They do what they do, but that's just not my circle. So I think people should expand, because I tell people all the time is that many people think that they want to be around a certain type of people. But my question is, you talked about before, what are their behaviors? What are the things they talk about? What are the things that they're into? And I think sometimes that lack of exposure is something that we are not familiar with. So I do think people should always expand their horizons, who they talk to, what kind of people they deal with of every group, to get a different perspective on how life really is. But again, if you're living an irresponsible life, that is just going to keep following out throughout your whole life. And I think that's something that we're seeing with these people, unfortunately for them. And I think it's really unfortunate, but I do think people need to diversify their circle. But I think a lot of people think diversifying their circle is just a different group of people. You can diversify your circle against people that look like you, but either way, you have to deal with people not always telling you what you want to hear all the time. And I think that's the real issue. It's not the diversification. It's I only want to surround myself with people that only affirm the BS I got going on.
Yeah, and I guess that's and actually there's somebody here that could totally understand exactly what you're saying, but you would never think it. I'm gonna put them on the screen real quick.
Okay.
And Dave, just let me know when you gotta hop off. Okay, so Tar Baby Yoda, y'all do not get offended by his name. I know this person, it's all good. So Tar Baby Yoda, have you ever considered that she lined those two up? So Dave, what do you think about that?
I mean, she lined them up for what reason, or what did she get out of it? So what is? And I mean, anything can happen. Like, it's a million possibilities of what happened when they went over there. I'm just trying to figure out, what would she get out of the deal by lining them up for what reason? But yeah, she could have lined them up. Somebody else could have lined them up. Anything could have happened.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, to me, it's just such a volatile scenario that anything could have happened once they went down there. Because I said before, is that what I always learned is that anybody could kill you, but are they worried about what's going to happen to them if they kill you?
That's the equalizer right there. That's the defining.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So anybody can kill you. Like, nobody's bulletproof. But most people, what stops them from being killed is somebody's worried about what's going to happen to me or my people if I kill this person. If they're not thinking about that, then you're likely to get killed. So that's your vulnerability once you're moving around doing illicit stuff. Is that nobody's worried about something's going to happen to me or my people if I do you wrong. And so that's why I said is that a lot of times these people, like this group of 4, they're taking all the risks to get the least amount of benefit because they're not connected to anybody. Because if they were, that wouldn't have happened to them.
And they wouldn't have been moving like that.
They would have been moving like that. So they're moving like mules, which means that they have the least amount of protection in this situation. Because like you talked about, the other person that doesn't want to be identified, who are they and what's their role in the situation?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Dave. That's why for me, you know, with the direction I'm trying to take this channel in, it's like I need people to learn how to connect some dots. And I didn't become this way overnight, right? And I'm not the most brilliant, but I can look at a situation sometimes and just know in my gut something's not right here. And I understand that as a, because as a Black woman, yes, we are consumed with vanity for some reason, which I'm not super clear on where that comes from exactly. But I know for a fact that we do risk our lives a lot of times for the sake of vanity. Now, the men, for the most part, are just along for the ride, to be quite honest with you. But I do think Tar Baby Yoda is onto something, not necessarily that she set them up, but that something else was going on. And he also wants to let us know Mexicans don't like Black people. Yes, we know. Okay. Yeah, but that's also not the 100%. Case all the time.
Yeah, because I used to deal with a lot of northern. I know you're from California. I used to deal with a lot of northern Mexicans when I was living in Tampa, and we were super cool.
Yeah,
so it depends on
they're awesome. Like
yeah.
The main and I'm going to be real, and it could be my California sensibilities, Dave, but my thing is this: when you find common ground with somebody, they love you to death. And the biggest thing for me, if you just speak a little Spanish, y'all, you could literally be buddies with some of these people. And it's not like you're not going into these friendships and things to try to get something out of them, but it makes you a more well-rounded person. And you're able to move in certain rooms differently when you have that common ground with people, right? Because even though I'm not with this person anymore, those years I was with that Mexican person, I learned a lot. Okay. I learned about code switching. I learned about, and I say that because I didn't even know he was Mexican when I met him. He Americanized himself to the T. But if he had to go somewhere, he knew how to act. He knew how to code switch so he could get what he wanted. Okay. You learn that when you start branching out to other groups. And I think we're missing that in a big part of our community because we want to barrel through and just do what we want to do, say what we want to say and be defiant instead of trying to understand these other groups on a certain level. Because if I didn't know him, I would have never really known to watch my back in Mexico. I would have never known to actually start looking, on the internet and seeing, is what he's saying really true? Like, is this for real? It's like, I would have never had that experience if I didn't know that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could very well have ended up like this girl. 100%. So I'm not ever going to say that I'm better than her, but I'm just saying that because I branched out and decided to put some of my preconceived notions to the side about people, it has helped me. We're not going out. Like I said, we don't have to mix and mingle and do that and like immerse ourselves in their lifestyles. I'm just saying, pick up what you need to pick up and take your ass back to your community and use it.
I 100% agree with you. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. But see, you're smarter than the average person. And I said this before, and this is something I've had to accept, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. I want to hold your show up. One thing I realized is that the average person in America, they're reading on like a 6th grade level.
Yes.
So I think stuff that is very obvious to maybe me or you, because we're reading a lot, we're studying a lot, we're doing a lot of analytical work, we're doing a lot of work based around critical thinking. Mm-hmm. What seems obvious to us, I just think to a lot of people, they don't see it. And so because they don't see it, they don't really realize like how bad it could go if this goes bad, or what kind of dangerous situation I'm putting myself in. Or they see what I want is so important, I'm willing to risk all of this just to get what I want. Mm-hmm. It's like somebody trying to cross the street to get something, and they don't realize you're crossing the busiest street in the world. You're going to get hit by a car.
Bruh.
So I just think that's very unfortunate. So you see it, and you knew I need to make these connections with other people to improve my ability to be successful in these areas. And that made sense to you. To a lot of other people, only thing makes sense to them is I just get what I want all the time. And I just think that's very unfortunate because it kind of hurts them long term. And this is a really good example of that. So we said before, so hopefully she learns from it. The other guy learns from it. And, RIP to the 2 dudes that got passed away. Because, and Tar Baby said it. As soon as you go over there, they know you're there.
And you are literally in their ring.
Exactly.
You're an American, sure, but all they got to do is toss your passport and you're persona non grata.
No, but the thing is, and I said before, is that the United States government is telling you with that warning, if something happens to you, we're not saving you. So we're
going to move very slowly.
Oh, yeah, well, really, because they only put a $50,000 to get them out. So which means that's no money. You're talking about the cartel. They wake up in the morning and urinate $50,000. So that's no money to them. So that's what I'm saying is that they're documenting essentially, because you're dealing with Europeans, they document everything. So they're documenting, which is their culture. We talked about before. You have to understand the people you're dealing with. Europeans are great documenters. They're documenting what the situation is and telling you that we have no control or influence in this area. So if you go there, you're at your own risk. So after you choose to go in there, after they've already presented this to you publicly and you've been made aware of it, and it's your responsibility to do the research. They're not on the hook anymore for it.
Right.
So then once something goes wrong, you can't expect them to use government resources to try to extract you out of there, because they let you know ahead of time of what the scenario was, and it's all in documentation. So that's what I said. That's where us not understanding other cultures and this defiant streak that we've allowed people to persuade us is our identity. It's going to always come back to hurt you. Appreciate the show. Let somebody else come up here, man. And I really, like I said, this is a really good show. And make sure you put up the Cash App so I can shoot you something.
Oh, it's down there. You know,
okay,
they quiet on me, Dave, tonight. They ain't super chatting or nothing. Look, they be doing me dirty, boy.
All right.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, y'all. Diamond Dave. I so hope he covers this story, because y'all, he gonna peel back them layers and he is gonna connect the dots. Okay, look. Now, I actually wanted to get to this before Dave took off, but okay, so you're from Tamaulipas. And I don't get it. Why would you enter the mouth of the devil? Exactly. And see, Christian, that's what I'm talking about. If these people had known you, if we're believing the surface story that they don't know nothing about Mexico, but they all have passports to get over there. If we're believing that, all I would have to do is call my buddy Christian Hernan, my bad. I would have to call my buddy Christian, and I would be able to know right off the bat not to go, or I need to take Christian with me. Okay. I would know that. You guys need to stick to the resort towns when you go to these cities. And I'm not saying it's like I've never done anything goofy, because I'm gonna have to be careful telling this story, but me and another person were in Jamaica, and we went over there being goofy, you know, girls trip, whatever. And we ended up in the back of a taxi cab. Supposedly, it was supposedly a taxi, but we ended up in the mountains somewhere. Now, thank God nothing happened, because we were with, you know, our Jamaican tour guide. I use that term loosely, but you know, something really crazy could have happened to us. You know, so when Dave talks about that defiant streak, he's for real. Like, we really have that, and I'm not joking, y'all. Like, when I look back, if I ever have a daughter, I will literally swing her around the apartment with her hair if she tells me she did something that stupid. We could have very well never came back. Seriously, up in the mountains in Montego Bay. You know, I'm glad I'm y'all, I was really young back then, but okay. We don't know why they went, but honestly, it was because of muscle. She needed muscle. That's the whole reason. I know for sure that that's why those guys went. A lot of people build a life around people that tell you what you want to hear. Absolutely. We're all surrounded by yes men, you know, and honestly, the two women that are the family members, they didn't sound too convincing. They didn't strike me as anybody that would protect them, because again, if she had 6 children, that was an unprotected woman. And for all we know, she could be one of a bunch of half siblings. Okay. There's definitely a pathology going on here. So that's why I say, guys, when you see these news stories, I want you to look at it with a more discerning eye. Don't just look at the surface level, you know, because like I said, I'm very surprised that they're not bringing up the race thing, because when it comes to us, that's the first thing they always want to talk about. But this is going to turn into a healthcare story. Trust me, they're going to manipulate everybody to think this is all about expensive healthcare. No, it's not. The truth and the point of my whole live tonight was that I want you guys to understand that the responsibility of becoming economically literate is up to you. It's your job, okay? Because you're going to end up just like this. And it may not be going across the border and ending up in trouble like this. It could literally be you guys. Hey, now, thank you, Dave. You just bought me a pizza, player. All right. And somebody's texting me right now who should be on this live. But give me 1 second, guys. I just got to answer this text real quick. Hold on. This is why I'm glad this is YouTube and not network TV, because we could be a little janky. All All right, guys, you hear that? That's the Cash App coming through, y'all. Come on. You gotta, I'm dropping heat tonight. And if Diamond Dave came up here, you already know what I'm spitting is some fire, because Dave don't just be hopping on any old body's live streams, y'all. Trust me, if you know anything about Diamond Dave, you already know what's up. So y'all gonna miss us when we gone, man. The internet's gonna have a big old hole when we disappear. Y'all gonna see. Because trust me, my channel, I want to make it more than just telling you how to get a damn 720 credit score, because what you don't realize is that all of this is all encompassing. Your credit, like if that girl had like an 800 credit score, trust me, she would not have been in that whack ass van going across the border. She would not have done that. She would have been able to put that flight on a credit card and take her ass down here. I'm actually of the belief, again, this is poor people stuff. When you get that tax return, please do not do nothing with your body. Please put it into an asset. I've already told y'all on a few of these videos on my channel, which I've actually put over into my membership now, because you guys don't deserve that information for free. I'm being honest with you. You could literally take $1,000 right now and go buy some land in Portsmouth, Virginia. You could do that right now. The counties, the states, everybody is selling land right now, you guys. Everybody. And I was just talking to my mom on Saturday about this, and my mom is a homeowner, and she was talking to me like you're gonna build a house? What? Because in her mind, she's thinking I should just go ahead and buy one. But no, I want to build one. That's what I want to do. That's why I got the land. Okay. Also, the land is also an ace in the hole for me, because if I ever am hard up on cash, guess what? I have an asset that I could turn into liquid. So when you get that tax return, that's your hard-earned money. Why are you not going and investing? Why are you not going and buying something at auction? Why are you not? It's because you don't know. That's what I'm going to guess. It's because you don't know. So I'm trying to make it to where you guys can get access to this information for free, because what I just told you was gold. What Dave just got on here and said about us being defiant, that's gold, because he literally just put a mirror up and said, hey, look at yourself before you make the next ridiculous decision. This story it's a cautionary tale, right? But it's more than that. There's layers to this, and we want to teach you guys how to look and see the layers. And let me get off this phone because I'm being rude. Okay. But thank you so much for the Cash App. I so appreciate you. Cash App's there. You can also super chat, do what you do. So that's really the point of what we're talking about tonight. What does your circle look like? Who are the people around you? If you know people that will hop in the car with you and do this, you got to expand your horizons and get in some better circles. I put a post, go check out my community tab. I put a post in my community tab where I'm telling you guys that, my horizons got broadened so much because I joined a business club in downtown Los Angeles. And this club was, I joined the business club, but they are actually part of a larger organization that is a country club. Now, if I say that in the wrong group of Black people, y'all will turn your nose up at me and you'll be like, who does she think she is? Well, I think I'm somebody that literally needs to experience something different. And I know that the 5 or 6 friends that I have right now are not going to get me to where I need to go. So I need to invest in having a membership somewhere where I can get access to people with money, people with ideas, people that are movers and shakers. And guess what? People that know plastic surgeons that can get me a damn discount. How about that? So a lot of this story is because there are no connections. She's unprotected in her family. She's surrounded by people. She's literally in a cesspool of people that believe what she did is normal. She's there with yes men. So I want you to look at your life right now and see if there are people like that in your life and where you can make some adjustments and improvements. Because again, I have a sneaking suspicion. I can't speak for Diamond Dave. Erica's already told you guys. Erica Williams says she's gone. She's gone. She's going to leave. And I believe her because she done pulled that trigger a couple times and she always comes back. But I believe Erica Williams is going to disappear. And y'all are going to be wishing she was still here. See, I still love you guys and I still want you to do better. That's why I hang around. Okay. Thank you, Mark, for the Cash App. I so appreciate you. I'm guessing that's Mark Daly. And Mark, thank you for coming back. Cause I know one night I like tried to pow, and I'm sorry, sir. Cause I wasn't reading your comments correctly and I just went off, and that's not right. I shouldn't have done that. So thank you for the, for the Cash App. And y'all, the Cash App is right at the bottom. Okay. The reason we say Cash App is because honestly, YouTube takes about like 30 to 40% when you guys super chat. So it's easy to do it, but it does take more money from us. And it's like, keep the black dollar black, y'all. Cash App. But anyway, back to my point. The reason I was able to go into this business club was because I had decided, like, it was right when I started my business. And I had decided for myself, like, okay, I got to find a way to branch out and get with people, because I go to work every day. I'm there for 8-9 hours. Everybody in that building with me is a worker. They're an employee. So their mindset is not like where I need it to be. They're not thinking about ever quitting their job and going off to be an entrepreneur. These are people that couldn't help me. So I had to step out of the box. You know, my mom, I love her, but my mom's always worked. You know, my brothers are workers. I come from a family that's workers. I don't know anybody in my family that actually has a business. I'm the only one that I know of. So I am not surrounded even on a familial level. I don't even have people around me that can help me in that way. Do you? And if you don't, you need to expand. That's the whole point. That's why we're here telling y'all this stuff. It's like, oh my God, you know, that's the whole point that we're trying to make here. And tonight, I do feel like I was focusing mostly on Black people. And it's because I can see that we are lacking in that area the most out of everybody. And this story is indicative of that. So let's just be objective. And that's why I'm kind of glad Tar Baby Yoda's in here, because people might not understand where you're coming from, but I do. And that's the whole thing. So let me go through these and then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to finish out this story. I'm finishing my outline, you guys. So you got me for a little bit longer and then I'm out of here. I hang around Christians. Good for you. I hang around some that say they are, but I would beg to differ. Why free sugary meds? You talking about the insulin? I'll be honest with you. I think that the medical tourism is benefiting from us being overrun by our desires. Because remember, you know, for the most part, diabetes, is, at least type 2, is something that you bestow upon yourself. You inflict yourself with that, right? So, of course, Mexico is going to benefit from that. They benefit from our gluttony. Because of that, you know, we get type 2, then we got to go down there and get the pills or get the shots and the syringes and all that kind of stuff. But there's ways to get medical supplies for way cheap. I'm not sharing that here because, again, you got to pay for that information. But there's a website right now you could go over to and get a whole bunch of diabetic syringes. I can't help you with the insulin, but I could tell you where to get the syringes from. Pennies on the dollar. But y'all don't care. You don't care. And that's why I don't talk about it, because you don't care. But anyway, with the medical tourism, that's how they benefit, right? And in this case, when it comes to the plastic surgery, there's almost 1 million Americans that go over, cross into somebody else's border every single year to get cosmetic procedures. So then again, that's them banking on our vanity. The only reason you want to look good, honestly, be real, most of it is not health related because you're getting surgery. So I know it's not because you want to fix your health for the most part. Now, we're not talking about gastric bypass and all that, which there's a special place for those people too. But what I'm saying is that, you know, me getting a boob job is not health related at all. Even if I were to get a mastectomy and they took my boobs because of cancer or something, me getting implants is still vanity, right? Because I still want to have a set because I want to still feel like a woman. So yes, somebody overseas, some doctor's office overseas can benefit from that. My vanity, because there's still something missing here. I'm still trying to satiate something inside of me that's missing. So these countries are benefiting from this and we're losing our lives from it. But most of it is because the reason that a lot of us struggle with, like, you know, we overeat. What is the, oh, is that more money, y'all? I think that's more money. I don't know. I can't tell. But yeah, like I said, guys, Cash App, seriously, because I know I'm preaching to the choir tonight, and it's like I started off kind of like rocky and like all over the place, but I know what I'm getting at here. And I only know it because I've suffered with some of this stuff too. And I think Tar Baby Yoda kind of would understand where I'm coming from. It took a very long time for me to understand what some of my hangups were. And a lot of it came from feeling inadequate. That's why a lot of you get surgery. That's why a lot of you wear wigs. That's why I wore makeup, because I knew it would be more aesthetically pleasing to get on here and wear makeup than to come on with a clean face tonight. I knew that, you know, but it's like we're diving in and we're kind of succumbing to all this stuff without realizing what the true issue is. Right. And a lot of it is financial. A lot of it is because we are not financially savvy. We are illiterate when it comes to money, finances, because I would much rather have 5 acres of land than a set of double D tits. I know I'm talking to somebody tonight. It's like, yes, it would be nice. Yes, it would be great to get the attention. Yes. Yes. All right. I'll be the first one to say it. Yes. But who's going to benefit more with me getting that set of boobies? Who's going to benefit more? Me, my future children, or the plastic surgeon and his legacy? Who's really going to win from that? Who's going to win from my insecurity? So we are out here with an issue. We are building other people's legacies. You going out of the country to do this surgery, yes, it's cheaper, but you are effectively taking money out of this economy here. And you are essentially, you're contributing to the wealth of a whole nother nation that doesn't give a shit about you. And let this story prove that to you. The Mexican cartel don't even care about Mexicans. They don't. So this is deeper than we will ever even know, because this is a realm that we don't even deal with on a day-to-day basis. So, but that's all I was going to say. We eat too much, then we want to, get things sucked out of our body, and we don't want to do the hard work because we are surrounded by yes men. We have a society that says it's great to have a gut and a butt. You can have a butt or a gut as long as you have a butt, and you can have a gut as long as you have big tits, right? But you're going to die 20 years earlier. But it's cool because you're going to get a lot of attention from men. So it's okay, sis. Go ahead and do it. Our priorities are jacked up. You need to run in circles. And I don't mean run in circles. I mean, you need to put yourself in social circles and in a social strata where how much land you have matters. Where if you have life insurance or a trust, or if you're married, you need to be in circles where that stuff matters. You don't need to be in circles that think that it's a flex to go to a Beyonce concert. You don't need to be in a circle where it's a flex to have a fucking blonde wig. And yes, I said it. You need to get out of those circles right now, because those are the ones that are going to lead to your damn demise. Okay? I can tell y'all don't hang with people with money. And I'm not trying to act like all of my friends have money, but all you got to do is be with one or two friends that are investors, and you're going to see how differently they live. As a matter of fact, he's probably watching right now, but I have a friend out in Los Angeles. Well, he's in San Diego, but who, how do I say this without telling all his business? So he has a brother, and his brother has a mansion in the Hollywood Hills. And I remember going to his brother's house and just sitting there thinking, man, this would be the shit. I would love to have this damn house. But his brother is just sitting there like, yeah, this is my house. And what? I'm on to make more money somewhere else. This is just one little thing that I did. Those are the kind of people that you need to be around. The kind of people that can obtain these things with ease and move on with their life and go just do something else and invest in something else. These are the people that you need to be around, not 3 men that will get in a car and drive 2,500 miles with you to get fat sucked out of your butt. You see the difference there? You see the difference there? Okay. And my friend that I'm talking about, it was one of my biggest supporters when I started my business. One of my biggest supporters. You know who didn't support me? No shade, but my family didn't. My mom still doesn't know what the hell I do exactly. She doesn't. And it's not because she doesn't care. It's because she's kind of like, well, I don't really get it. And I'm kind of living my own life over here. So let me know if you need something, you know? But that's not a negative thing. But it signals to me that I got to get up. I got to, wash my face, put my eyebrows on, and go get in somebody's group. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I've told y'all that before, but you don't listen because you don't come to my live unless I put some drama on the screen. I am a member of the Chamber of Commerce in Lynchburg, Virginia. And Tar Baby Yoda, don't say nothing about my city being named Lynchburg. Stop it. I'm going to stop you before you even get on it. But I am a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Do you know why? Because my business gets free advertising. My business, I can go into a breakfast at like 9 a.m. and talk to whoever, the people that have money in my city, right? That's what I can do. That is why I invested in that. $400 a year, $400 a year. What is that BBL going to get you? Besides 2 months in your bed, you're going to get pumped full of pain medication, and you're probably going to get some sort of, what would we call it? Some sort of addiction to it. You're going to have a dependence on it by the time you get your ass up off that bed. You're going to be sexually desirable, sure. But once you're done, once the guy's done with you, what else is there? Show me an attractive woman. I'll show you a man that's tired of sleeping with her. Hello, Beyonce. Hi, Cardi. Hey. So what are you chasing the vanity for? I'm sorry. Like, at the end of the day, I would rather have acres than an ass. It is what it is. So yeah, not all women are like that. Would I want it? Yeah, that'd be great. Like I would love to have a banging body, but I'm going to have to work for it. Right? That's just how it works. And we just don't want to do it. And it's so stupid. Anyway, let me get in these comments. Nobody goes in there with them. Yeah, I got you. I feel you. Thanks again, Mark. Yeah. And that's the thing, you have to. And that's the beauty about college. And Cherie over at Black Women Making Money was talking about that. How, and I brought it up too. Like, there's a stark difference between the Black college experience and the white college experience. The only time you guys should be comparing yourselves to other races of people is looking how they run their families and their races and their organizations. Look at that instead of thinking about, oh, they're going to lynch you or something like that. Yes, that's possible. Absolutely. But that's not what you should be studying. The news has you fooled. Okay? A lot of your leaders have you fooled, and they're your leaders because they're not mine. And I can already tell YouTube's going to start hating on me right now with my signal because I'm really about to say something real. So you need to get into these groups and see how these people roll. Another thing we were talking about, like I said, when we go to college for whatever reason, we're told to keep our head in the books. We're not told to network. We're not told, you're told to join a sorority, and that's about it. I'm talking to the girls now, the women. You're told to join a sorority. You got $40,000+ in debt to go join a freaking group of women. And if you understand how catty women are, you're going to see how ridiculous of an idea that actually is. I know I'm about to upset somebody. And also remember, guys, if you want to jump on, the link is right there. Thank God, Diamond Dave was great enough to come on and bless us tonight, but there's the link. So you guys should come up and say something. If you disagree, that's okay. I'm all right with that, but I know what I know, and it works for me. So the college experience for other races of people, they go in looking for husbands. Now, I don't know if I totally agree with that, but they go in looking at how to build their network, because once you get out of school, like once you're out of the school system, it's so different. Like socializing is so different, and it's a lot harder. So we need to start there. If you're going to go to college, you need to go for better reasons than just to get the damn degree. Hey, look, Mexico reveres death. And again, people don't know that because they don't associate with people of different groups. Okay. What is it? Dia de los Muertes? Yeah. Listen, my ex, his mom, like, did a spell on us. Like, when we first got together, she put a spell on us. Like, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but she was into Santa Maria or Santeria. So y'all, like I said, you don't really know these people. You act like you do, but you only know YouTube videos. You know 6ix9ine. That's who you know. That's probably as Mexican as it gets for you. Is freaking 6ix9ine. Am I saying his name right? The guy with the colorful hair? That's as deep as y'all go when you're Mexican heritage. You don't really know them. And that's why I know, because y'all keep going down there. Silly. Okay, so this is all from when Dave was on. All right. Oh, wow. Isn't that something? That's an interesting connection. All right. Am I right or am I Christian? Question of the hour. Yeah, what is he in? Whatever. Jalisco. It's a soda. No, but it's a spot. It's in Mexico. We be trying, man. We trying. Like I said, I'm gonna try to grow my channel. I'm gonna keep going. Welcome, Financially Basic. When you go into the membership, let me know what kind of videos you want to see. I'm also going to do live streams in there too. We just got to get a few more people. I started a Patreon too, you guys. So go check that out as well. Like I said, the world is not all about a damn credit score. So I need for you guys to not think about that. Or think about it, but don't make it like the focal point of everything. But I could tell you this girl had a poor ass credit score, 100%, because it only takes a 640 to get a care credit card. So since we're here, why don't we just do it? Damn it. I'll just have to do it. But thank you so much for joining the membership. That means more to me than you'll ever know. So thank you so much. And the membership costs $2.99, guys. So I'm cheaper than a gallon of gas. I'm cheaper than eggs. I'm cheaper than milk. Dare I say cheaper than your baby's mother. But anyway. So let me go ahead and share this. Okay, so let me zoom it in because I want you guys to, again, just when you get these stories in the news, just look deeper, y'all. And then we're going to get up out of here. So this is care credit, right? So this is why this Mexico story, it adds insult to injury. And when I share this with you, you should be pissed. You should be pissed that there is someone in our group, our diaspora, whatever you want to call it. There's one of us that jumped over all of this information right here. Is my signal okay, you guys? I can't really tell because it seems like it's cutting me out a little bit here and there. But anyway, so you can use care credit for cosmetic surgery. That's a medical credit card, just for those of you that don't know. So when you go into the doctor's office and maybe you don't have insurance or, you can't pay the bill or whatever, you can charge it to the game. You just have to go in there with the 640 credit score. So they cover breast augmentation, liposuction, nose job, rhinoplasty, eyelid surgery, tummy tuck, mommy makeovers, mini facelift. There's literally, and for you guys, let me take off this membership thing. For you guys and even the women, they do hair replacement. So y'all don't even got to keep going to the barber and getting them white lines that y'all be getting. You could go get hair replacement. So I'm sharing this with you, not as an advertisement because I don't work with Care Credit, but I help y'all get collections off from Care Credit though. But what I'm saying here is that this girl has so many opportunities to not do what she did. And this is, I'm showing you right here on the screen. This is proof positive. She didn't have to do what she did. And that's why I'm telling you, there's something more to this story. If medical care in the U.S. is expensive, yes, it is. We know this. But if it's so damn expensive, why don't you take the opportunity to get skilled up, get better jobs, get into better rooms with better people? Yes, I said it. Regardless of the color, When I was in that business club, do you know that business club was actually created for Black people? Because in downtown LA or LA in general, you guys, if you live in a certain part of Los Angeles, you already know. Like I lived in Hollywood, and I forget the name of the area, but I was like a couple of blocks away from where Maxine Waters lives. And that's like a predominantly Jewish area, but she knows what to do. But the point I'm making there is that that club was created because Black people were actually ousted. Like they would not allow them to join clubs, like social clubs, where the who's who and the upper crust of LA could actually hang out. So that's why this club was created in the first place. So I knew that I wanted to be a part of that. And here's one that's really going to make you mad. Do you know who invited me to that club? A non-Black person. How about that? How about that? So you want to talk about being in the wrong rooms? That's what we're talking about. It was because I branched out and this man came waltzing over to me at a networking event. A non-Black guy. And if I had been of the belief that, I can only talk to people that look like me. Oh no, this man opened up a gate to the richest Black people in Los Angeles to me. A non-Black person. Get in better rooms. That is the message tonight as well. All right, let me finish out Tar Baby Yoda. You in here cutting up, brother. I'm glad to see you back though. You and Lin Yen Chin, y'all are tearing up my comment section right now. I haven't seen you guys in forever, but I'm glad that you guys are still kicking. Very good. Very good. Yeah, go ahead and look up that part of Mexico though. That cartel is very big on fentanyl. So stem cells, so you're going somewhere that people are not ready to see, and they're not ready to have that conversation. Tar Baby Yoda, also known as popcorn or corn pop. He's probably not even here anymore. Sorry, y'all. I'm having a moment. It's nice when old friends come into the chat. Thank you, Ray Gun. I would have my my bell, but it's over there. All right. Our food in the US is overprocessed, so it's harder to eat foods that don't make. Yeah, it's very hard. There's a reason that, girls are getting boobs at 9. I was one of those girls, right? I'm not necessarily stacked, but it's not nice and it's not comfortable to be a 9-year-old with tits. Just to, sorry, I can't clean that up in any way, but it is the food. You're absolutely right. Hence why you guys need to buy land too. Buy land and buy seeds. Like, these people know what to invest in. You know what I mean? Get some seeds. See, me saying that, you think I'm stupid. You think I'm stupid. Why would I go buy $100 worth of seeds, Credit Solutionist? You're stupid. So you can go get some land. What do you think Bill Gates is doing? You're so dumb. Okay, you're not dumb. You know what I'm saying. But I think, Diamond Dave's actually going to cover that. And if he's still here, which he probably isn't, he probably went to sleep. But that next thumbnail that he has for his live is going to be, oh my God, it caught my eye. I was like, oh my God, he going to get like 1,000 people on that video. But yeah, you can't do it big. But what is the value of being an IG model or being on OnlyFans anyway? They probably don't even pay their taxes. And at the end of the day, that's not where the real money is. The real money is in the girls that actually are ladies of the night. There's a girl, I'm not going to share her on here right now, but there's a girl on TikTok and she's on YouTube who she used to be a corn star, and she now sells pheromones and perfume and stuff. And she's like a millionaire. She's a millionaire. She took being a garden tool. She took being a garden tool on camera, and now she flipped it into something more lucrative. But OnlyFans girls and Insta girls don't do that. They're not smart enough to do that. They don't understand that game is temporary. Because again, vanity is temporary. Your beauty is temporary as a woman. Shout out to Selkis Ray, who says we never shout her out. Stop it, girl. We shout you out. So your beauty is not something that you are going to be able to capitalize off of. I know that firsthand from living in Hollywood. I know that from being on TV before. I know that from hanging out with production assistants. I know that from hanging out, dating a guy that was a digital compositor. I know that. Beauty doesn't matter. It doesn't. So why are we risking our lives to do it? You know, and if you believe the internet, they say Black women are some of the most unattractive people on the planet. So what are you doing? They still think what they think about you, big boobies or not, a wig or not. Right? And y'all see me without braids, so don't come for me. You've seen my natural hair before. I'm not afraid to come on here and look how I really look for y'all, because I don't care, because I know that my mind is precious. I know that, but I know that you have to see me in a certain way to even take me seriously, which is pathetic. I love y'all. I'm not trying to smack you around, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting at. So, but thank you for that point, Ray Gun. Attention from beta males. Exactly. Because if you get that much attention, just know that that man is not the person that you want. You know, I'm going to give you girls some dating advice real quick. If you really want to know a man, because the last guy that like was trying to date me, you know what I did? I was friends with him on social media. And the first thing I did was I went to go look at who he followed on social media to see what his eye really finds appealing. And guess what? None of them look like me. How about that? So why are you here, sir? Because this isn't what you find aesthetically pleasing. And I know that because I've already seen your friends list. How about that? So instead of you women going through their phone and doing all this stupid stuff, what you could do to save yourself a lot of heartache and save yourself from going under the knife and getting shot at in Mexico, look at the men you follow and look at who they follow. It'll tell you everything you need to know. All right? Save yourself. Baby Yoda, you killing it in the chat tonight, brother. Kind of brother. Yes, he's dead. That's true. They look horrible, but they are a Black man's dream. They're honestly every man's dream, to be honest, which is sad, but they're gypsies. So gypsies are able to do that because that's a spiritual thing. I noticed when I said that, it slowed me down. But yeah, the Kardashians are gypsies. And look it up if you need to get more on that. That's a t-shirt. Acres over. Right. It is, though. You're so right. Acres over ass. Okay. There you go. I'm telling you, like, our enemy is right in our backyard. And that's why we have to be clear-headed. So, like, you guys got to understand, like, there's a reason that I shared the L-theanine with you guys. And then I'm going to get off of here. But I shared the L-theanine with you guys because you have to find more natural ways to calm your nerves so you could see things more clearly. Smoking pot and all that, I get that you guys want to do that and, you know, you're sticking it to the man by doing it. But just because something is legal doesn't mean that you should partake in it. Okay? I'm just going to say that. So if you're looking to really just calm your nerves, I wouldn't even recommend CBD because you do that, you might not be able to get a job in certain places because it's going to show trace amounts of THC. I'm giving you game, but you guys are not going to listen. I'm talking to my potheads right now. Unless you work for yourself, cut that habit. Weed makes you dumb. Okay? It makes you dumb. And anybody that knows me in my personal life knows what I'm talking about. It makes you fucking dumb. That is why it's so readily available now, because they need you dumbed down. Yes. But if you take something like that, you know, get yourself some peppermint oil like I did, you calm down right away. You're good. You're good. Get yourself some GABA. That's GABA, GABA. I got mine in the mail today. But yeah, take yourself some ashwagandha. Take ashwagandha, right? You don't need to pump yourself full of all this weird medication and stuff. You got to get ahead of this thing because if your mind is going so fast all the time, you're useless. You're becoming a useless eater, as a matter of fact. Okay? I remember I was talking with AM1, who I think is going to come on the channel very soon. we were talking about it on a live stream at the beginning of last year when I first got to Virginia. We were talking about it, and he was doing this health thing. So go over to AM1. I think he's still doing it. Free energy is what he called it. So shout out to AM1. I think he's on here as AM1 Creates, but check him out. And you know, I had done like a 5 or 7 day fast. I know you can't tell now, right? But I did a 7-day fast, and it was like the best experience ever. It was hard in the first couple of days, but like by day 3, I texted him and I'm like, yo, hey, like, bro, I can think. And he's like, duh, Vic, that's what it's supposed to do. But I was like so astonished that I could think, you guys. That was when I realized how important my brain was. And now I know the food, the social media, the focus on big booty, big boobs, all this other stuff. That's so they can keep your ass poor and dumb. And taking 5-day trips with smelly men across the border. That's what they want you to do. They want you to waste your time. Do you know in those 4 days they were driving across what they could have been doing? They could have been driving for dollars. They could have been stopping and looking at land to buy. They could have been looking at signs because she had money. She had money. Okay? That's the part they're not telling you. They're not telling you how much money got stolen from her. But I'm guessing she got her tax return. They drove through so much rural, I struggle with that word. They drove through so much rural land between South Carolina and Texas. And I bet none of them looked to see how much land out here is for sale by owner. You know what? I shouldn't go get that lipo. I should stop here and talk to this man because I got the cash to buy this land right now. I should talk to him. But no. And none of the men in the car made her stop and do that either. Fix your circles. Fix who you're hanging out with. Okay? Let me get back in these comments and then we're going to close it out. Yeah, but that's a deep story right there. Us being sold by our own people. Again, that's how you know it's just a spiritual thing. And really it's a human thing. Humans are going to human regardless of the color. So I'm not surprised. I would expect a Black person to sell me out. So it is what it is. Oh, whoa, that word. I got to take that off the screen. I didn't even read that one. Oh my God, you are a mess. They probably wondering why I'm letting you speak so much, but they don't understand. It's cool. Yeah, it covers dental. Exactly. I actually got laughed out of the dentist's office one time because, I mean, you can see I have very straight teeth. I've never had braces, but I wanted braces. Talk about insecurity. I wanted braces. They laughed me out of the fucking office. They told me to leave. So get in the right circles again. Yeah, the networking did pay off. And what was so funny is that the guy that got me into the Black Club is an ambassador. And obviously I'm not with that club anymore because I don't live in LA anymore. But I am going to be joining when I move to Texas. I'm joining that group again because the access that you get is phenomenal. And then you basically get to go to more clubs on top of that, right? Because if you meet somebody in a members only club, guess what? That person is a member of other members only clubs. And that changes the trajectory of your business, your associations, everything. It changes everything. The only thing that got in my way was the pandemic. That's when my thunder got like, but to be honest, business picked up even more during the pandemic. But as far as the physical relationships, you know, that got, 86 because of the pandemic. And being in California, LA especially, that was a horrible place to be. That was a terrible place to be at that time. But yeah, I'll be back for sure in that club 100%. I think the closest one here is like 200 miles away. I'm not driving 200 miles. So I'll stick with my Chamber of Commerce right here in Lynchburg. Yeah, we do. Oh no, you must have said something crazy to my boy Lynn. You had to, because Lynn talks crazy himself. So I don't know how you got blocked by Lin Yen Chin. sir. He couldn't handle that smoke. Listen. All right, look, you done took over my chat, Tar Baby. You are a mess. Oh my God. Okay, no, I gotta read these before I put them up on the screen. You are a hot ass mess. If there's a moderator in here, do not block him. That is my friend. Don't block him. Yeah, I know a lot, man. I found a spiritual store out here, and say what you want, but they have some beliefs that I don't believe in. There's some stuff on their door that I don't agree with, but listen, they got that peppermint oil. I'm gonna go ahead and cross that threshold and get my stuff. Okay. But that lavender, all that stuff, it's like, it's not easy, y'all, but we have to kind of change what we're doing. Leave the pot smoking to the Rastas. Why don't you just do that? Like, leave that to people in other places, right? I don't care that it's from the earth. So is arsenic. I don't care. So is cocaine, right? Every element out here that can kill you is from the earth. So get that out of your head, because that's another thing they tell you to convince you to be an idiot. And also, like I said, look at your life. And unless you're a creative or something like that, and it really helps you, getting into those habits are really going to keep you down. And I'm speaking from experience. So I'm not coming down on you like somebody that did not partake. But this is not the forum to talk about that issue with you guys. But I could tell you I'm exponentially different since kicking that habit years ago. And I can tell, because there are people that I watch on this internet that I could tell they're high when they're on camera. You guys can't tell, but I can tell they're high. I can tell when they're medicated. I can tell if they've taken ADD medication. I can tell if they've smoked pot, because they can't see it, but I can, because I'm out of the fog now. And I'm like, oh, you're high. You're high as hell. So I'm only going to listen to half of what you're saying right now, because you don't even know what you're saying right now. But again, that's for another live stream behind a paywall. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Oh, what'd you say? It's definitely a spiritual theme. Yeah, 100%. All of this is, and that's why I'm letting Tar Baby Yoda talk, you guys, because he completely understands like what this is, and maybe not completely, because I don't think any of us do, because we're all like we're kind of this world, but we're also not. And just know that a lot of the stuff that takes over us mentally is because there is a spiritual aspect to it. I'm not saying Christianity. I'm not saying anything in particular, but there are forces. I don't know if you want to say they're good or evil. I don't care what you call them, but they're forces that are in control at the moment. And I know that because a lot of the stuff that people do, they wouldn't be caught dead doing it if they were clear-minded and if they came from strong families. And if for the men, I believe a lot of it is because you guys don't have a master right now. And what I mean is you have nobody to answer to. You have nothing higher than you that you believe in. So that's why a lot of you run amok out here. That's what possessed those dudes to get into that car. Instead of telling their lifelong girlfriend, their lifelong, female friend who's probably their play sister. That's literally why they didn't say anything, because there's something out of their control that's controlling them right now. And that's happening with a lot of you men. And the plastic surgery is just a symptom of that, because again, if I got up here with cleavage showing and straight hair or curled hair or a wig or something like that, and just started flicking hair back and forth, you'd listen to everything I had to say. You'd say, damn, she's smart. Look at that chocolate drop up there. She's so hot. That's what you would do. And the world knows that. And they're playing that. They're using that against you right now. And for us women, we're dumb enough to get under the knife and do it, to play that game too. But it's a fruitless endeavor. It's a fruitless endeavor. All you have to do is be a mildly attractive person and then not be attractive. And you can see how fruitless it really is. Look at Amber Rose. All you girls that want to be hot. I know I'm losing y'all because I'm speaking facts right now. It's cool. It's a credit channel, so I'll get off it. But look at Amber Rose. She has a damn tattoo on her face, on her forehead. Tattoo on her forehead. And now she's saying that she wants to be single forever. But isn't she beautiful? Right? Doesn't she have the booty? Doesn't she have everything that a girl would want? Everything a man would want? Even she's not winning. So use your minds, ladies. Use your minds. That's what I'm getting at. I'm getting at use your mind, because the powers that be, and I'll be done, they want you to focus on the things that don't matter, even down to the credit score. The credit score is not it. It's literally what is on the credit score and your decisions you've made through your life. They can tell a lot about you. Okay. So it's not the score, it's the actual report. But again, if you want to get some surgery, y'all, go get a Care credit card. Do not end up slipping like this girl in Mexico. Okay. And I'm leaving this here because I really need y'all to let that sink in. Money's very spiritual as well. Yes, I see a lot of you are slipping off into the whatever, forever good night, goodbye. It's cool. But money is very spiritual. Money is very intimate. And what you do with it does matter, because it can make or break you. It could kill you. Okay. So I want y'all to just let that sink in. Let this story sink in. Understand that, the vanity thing, let it go. Your mind is the most precious thing that you have. And it's all you have. That's why people die shortly after getting dementia and Alzheimer's, because your brain is the most important part of your body while you're here. All right. So let me read the last of these comments and I'm out. There you go. Anyway, you done turned the whole thing, sir. But yeah, so again, y'all, I'm just saying, hopefully you watch the replay, share this with somebody that you think could find it beneficial and helpful. Spring break is happening right now too. So you guys, please, if you have college age children, do not let them go and trollop in Mexico. Please don't. Okay. Let this story be a cautionary tale. Let the other story about the young lady that went to Mexico with her friends and they mollywopped her and now she's dead. The black girl, I forget her name, but that one black chick where the girl swung her so hard she broke her neck. Don't end up being on social media as a video, as an example of what not to do. Don't make me have to come up here and do more live streams about this. Don't do it. Okay. Spring break is among us. Tax returns are here. Do something better with your free time. Buy a course. Okay. Told y'all, I already got one coming out. Buy it if you want to. I don't care. How to start a small business. Did a whole ass live stream with black women making money. Shaeed Warwick, who I call the Capital Connector. But because that's not exciting, y'all don't want to learn how to make money. We literally are telling you how to start a business for $0. She literally told you in that video how to break down how many billable hours you can use and how many billable hours you should be charging and how much per hour you should be charging when you start doing business for yourself. She broke that down in that video. That's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But she ain't telling you how to get a big booty. So, of course, we don't want to hear that, right? We don't want to hear that. So we're all here for you. We're selling stuff. We are coming on here live, wasting time, it appears. But thank you guys for checking me out, coming through. Thank you to those of you that dropped a super chat or not a super chat. Thank you to the new members. Thank you to the Cash Apps, because you guys literally, you're going to pay for my ashwagandha habit. And I so appreciate you guys for it. But if anybody feels so inclined, the Cash App's right there at the bottom. You can leave a thank you once the video renders. And I make no promises, but I want to try to go live more often. So we will see what happens. If I hear any interesting updates on this story, I'll come and bring them to you guys so we can kind of dissect this one together. But I do think that this story boils down to financial illiteracy. So join the channel membership, join the free Facebook group, and I will see you guys on the next video. All right, Tar Baby Yoda, I will see you later. Thank you so much, Ray Gun, for coming through. And thank you guys for hanging out with me for a couple hours here. And you might see me and Diamond Dave together again pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that, guys. All right, I'm out. Credit Solutionist, out.